man, it's a battle.
I think I love that about our era. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where it was like if you knew somebody was like beefing about something, like you knew that they were going to battle each other. Something was going to happen. Like it was just fun. You know,
it was a real battle.
It was raw energy. Yeah, you know what I mean? It was just like, nah, like you're not going to beat me. I've been training. Like, let's do.
What do you think has changed on that aspect now? Like,
I mean, it's fake. It's fake battles now. Who battles like that nowadays? I haven't seen it.
Okay. I think there's a lot of things. I think, well, one, it's like a lot of these people that are coming up, they're taught, like from OGs, probably taught respect, right? Respect the OGs, respect this, respect that, right? But I think a lot of people are intimidated and they fear confrontation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they don't want to be looked at as the person that's being disliked, right? So if I call you out, right, and then we start getting to yapping, there's going to be some people that like me. There's going to be some people that don't. It's like, and I think people are afraid of that. They're afraid of that. Like, don't think I'm a bad guy because I called this person out. When in reality, it's not. It's like, I'm calling you out because I think you're getting good. And I know like what I can do. And I'm going to test what I've been training on you. If you lose, well, should have practiced more. If I lose, guess what I'm gonna go do? I'm gonna go practice. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And I think there's a disconnect somewhere.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nightmare Dystopia of Podcasts. This is Noise of the Broke Boys podcast. We got a full house tonight. I am your host, Kurt the Hurt, your concierge of calamity. I got my man Livick here, and my boy Swells1 co-hosting here. Our special guest today, he's a former member of the Legendary DSD1 crew and Golden State Breakers, and current member of the Fallen Kings crew. He is also the owner of Golden State CrossFit. My man Kid Konflict, grown-ass man Konflict. What's up, dude?
Yo!
Glad you can come, man. It's I've been trying to get you on for a while, so I'm glad we can make this happen.
Yeah, the schedule's been crazy with work, gym, work, figuring out like how to train. Trying to get back into it, you know. Breakdancing always pulls me back somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but it pulls me back.
I mean, you got a decorated career of breaking, so, you know. And I figured training was a big part of that. Can you talk a little bit about training, your upcoming, come up in the breaking world and training with that?
Like as far as like how I train?
How you started.
Or how I started. Yeah. So like back in, I mean, everyone has those stories of, you know, I had an uncle that was breakdancing in the kitchen and I was a kid and I was, you know, mimicking them when I was like a baby, right? So, of course, those are those stories floating around. But like seriously getting into it, I was in like 8th grade and my brother had his Filipino friend, I forgot his name, but he was breakdancing a lot. And we just like kind of was in awe with it. Like, damn, this is something that like you can't just do, like, you know, get up and just go hit some windmills. So at that point, we just got fascinated with it. And just started running. You know, my brother was doing it first. His windmills, I shit you not. If you seen my brother, you would not think he could do windmills. No, I don't think you have. You would not think he could do windmills. He does some of the best windmills I've ever seen. Period. To this day. And it's just because of how we train, you know? And we'll get into that like a little bit more, but understanding like, you know, like the way we came up of the structure, which I can't wait for you guys to hear, because like I said before we got on here, I don't think people train the way they're supposed to. And
nowadays, or just forever?
I think there are a few that do, but I don't know specifics because I don't really know them. I don't really know like a lot of like main B-boys, but there's some that I can see right now that it looks like they have the same like blueprint that I follow. Yeah, the same formula. But that's literally how it started. It was just 8th grade. We got into training and we just literally drilled moves.
You got addicted to it and just
got addicted. Okay. That's really what it was.
But would you say that like your training is different, like because of the era?
No,
it's different now than it is back then.
I think it was just more structured. I think it was structured. I wouldn't say it was different. I just say it was structured.
Can you talk about like the creative side and the training side, like the athletic side?
I mean, yeah, but I would say the training side comes first before that, the creative side. You know, like the athletic side and training comes way before you start getting creative. And it could have been the era that we came up in.
Right.
You know what I mean? It could have been just that era was in particular like creative heavy. You know what I mean? Where so-called new moves were coming out like all the time, right? But it wasn't like that. So like, cause us, we were in high school. You know, we're kids. We didn't have access to a lot of stuff. So it was literally like monkey see, monkey do. You know what I mean? It's like I see you doing windmills. I want to learn windmills. I see you doing head spins. I want to learn head spins. I see you doing flares. I want to learn flares.
You were a biter.
I was. I was actually.
A foundational biter.
No, see, and we're gonna get into that too, because I wouldn't say I innovated anything.
Yeah.
I didn't create nothing. I created my own pattern.
You're the only one I've seen do that.
I got called.
I mean, I've seen a lot of people do it after you.
You know, it's funny. I got called a biter for that.
Which move?
What?
Which
Yeah,
move
I
was
got called a biter for
The
that.
one he goes
You
like
also
this.
got called biter for putting the foot in the thing, but
I got called a biter for a lot.
we
of
all know
stuff.
who bit that.
I got called a biter for a lot of stuff. And I think when I did get called a biter for it, it made me laugh about it because I'm like, oh, you don't see what I see.
Yeah.
You thought that move was a different move. So that means I was already thinking something different than what you can imagine. You know what I mean? So, So the creative aspect of it is like, as we like skip forward to creative, not necessarily athletic, but the creative aspect of it is being able to see moves and put them together. Right.
That's actually a good point, because there's a lot of times when someone was saying to me like, oh, that's like that move, and I was like, what the fuck? I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
But this is like some regular move, but I was going like, I'm trying to do this with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I didn't quite hit the move yet, but it's like getting to there, and it's still like looking like this piece of trash, but I need to clean it up or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah, people call me a biter on it because they thought this move, they thought that one was Crumbs' move when he did that.
Oh, but that looked
Similar,
hella
but-
different.
It's
Yours is
definitely
way different.
And
Yeah.
the way that it was different is so like if it,
Yeah.
and I'll break it down, right? And just to give you like an idea of how like my mind was working, right? So this move that Crumbs did when he went like this and pushed up, right? This is automatically your power rollback arm.
Yeah.
Right? This move, I'm going around and I'm doing a lift up on an arm that's not dominant.
Yeah.
Right.
This is my dominant arm. You see me do roll back forearm, you see me do roll back hand, everything's on my right.
Right.
This one, I literally came around my head, used my head as leverage to push my elbow to help me lock out.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
It's
And people
crazy.
and people wouldn't understand like how I was able to kind of pull that out of nowhere. Like towards the tail end of my like little run that I had, it's like I was rolling back into it, but that was only because I wasn't practicing. The original move started with me laying on my back, folding like I was gonna do a kip up.
Yeah.
Crunching up and then ending out, and a lot of people didn't catch it. And they,
I mean,
they still don't catch it.
I remember there's good footage of it on Out for Fame, I think.
Yeah,
Like, the
Out for
camera's
Fame.
like right on you when you go boop.
Yeah, and I think Natron called me a biter. Yep, still don't know what he saw that day. He called me a biter, but
So when you would roll back and then you would roll back and then when you lift up and straighten out your arm, your body would turn the other way. Is that how it worked? Or?
no, I was already.
No, he
I
just
was
went
already
straight
this way.
up.
I was already this way.
Oh,
so then
okay.
when I would pop up, I would squeeze here, and it would like kind of spin me, like twist in. But I wouldn't necessarily fully turn. It would just turn just enough to balance out.
Like a quarter.
I think I saw you doing that move in Modesto where you did that and you tried to go into an air trick.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was
That's because
crazy.
people knew that I did that move. So I was always trying to stay one step ahead.
Flip.
If
Oh,
I was
yeah.
going to do this,
Yeah.
a lot at that time people liked mimicking moves.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, oh, you're going to do this.
And
So I
then
would
you
be
go,
like, okay, I
yeah.
did that. Oops. But now I'm going to drop into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Because
remember that.
they don't see it coming.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
That's a
dope.
smart way to do it.
That's
So-
just a battle tactic, though.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I
And
know.
we'll get into that, too.
Yeah, that's definitely something I want to talk to you about. So, like, from high school, you obviously I don't know if you were in a crew at that time, but you probably weren't nearly as like, I guess, doing battles like you were once you got with DSD1 and were just kind of like wrecking shit all the time. Can you kind of talk about how that transition happened?
So, like, when you first start breaking, right, you start seeking, like, other B-boys, B-girls, whoever that are breakdancing, right?
Yeah.
You see some people breaking, you want to breakdance with them, right? Oh, dope. Like, you do it, I do it, whatever. We're going to do it. Well, for some reason, everywhere I went, I was getting called out. Didn't matter what it was, right? We'd go to Great America. Great America was, like, the hot spot. right?
Right.
Every time we went to Great America, there was an arcade area. Somebody was breakdancing.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
I would do a move and then I'd get called out.
Right.
Right. And it happened all the time. Right. And it was just like one of those where when you get to school, it wasn't people battling each other. It was just like what I explained, like the monkey see, monkey do. It's like you got windmills and it's just like, oh man, I need to practice windmills.
Right.
Okay, well, you got head spins. Okay, damn, now I gotta practice head spins. And then you're just like leveling up, like one-upping each other with combos. It was pretty much a one-up game in high school. Like just constantly doing, because you weren't battling each other. Excuse me. So you're not battling each other, but you're just one-upping each other, right?
Yeah.
So that training led to that experience led to how I got my name, right? So I gave myself that name.
Okay.
Most people get appointed names, right? Like you get somebody that, is like an OG in the game, and they're just like, oh, this is the person I'm training. I'm gonna give him my name, give him a name, right? Like me giving Derelique his name, right? That's like somebody giving you your name, like telling you why you should be that name, right? And then with this one, I gave myself Konflict because it was like everywhere I went, there was a battle, right? And one day I was in school and there was a thesaurus next to me. So I'm looking at it and I see
this word mean?
And I look at battle. And in battle, you start seeing war, conflict. And I'm like, conflict. I was like, that's what's happening to me. This is exactly what's happening. And I was just a kid. I was like 15 years old.
Right. And you cut your picture out of the yearbook and taped it to the
If it was in the yearbook, I might not have showed up to school that day.
Yeah, for real.
That's funny.
But that's kind of how that transpired. And what was crazy was, even with that name of constantly battling people, I found myself even in like the short run of my career, always trying to prove myself. Like I was always I was like, when I look at it now, I was kind of being hated on a lot. Like a lot of people don't see
DSD1 in general was like, you guys were.
Oh yeah.
I feel like a lot of people looked at you guys as the fucking villains for some reason. But I don't know why.
Okay, so that's funny you said that though, because I would say, yeah, we were looked at as a villain on like a higher level B-boy aspect from like, let's say the Renegades, Flex Flav, Rock Force, whoever we're battling, we're looked at as like, you guys are the villains. But if you look at who's cheering for us, that's the whole crowd.
Yeah, no, that's what was weird.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't necessarily you're a villain. It was just you're pushing the needle. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
You're the next ones that like everyone's looking at these crews like, these are our guys. These are the ones that have been winning everything, and we just popped up and was like, all right, it's kind of our turn. You know? What I mean?
Well, that's what I liked about DSD1. It wasn't like you guys were some established crew from the freaking 80s or whatever. Yeah. It was just like, yo, we're the crew that's gonna take over you guys, and just freaking smashed everyone. Yeah,
and in high school, it's like I said, it's like I found myself always having to prove myself. So there was like a crew in high school, right? And Rich was in that crew, actually, right? Because we all went to the same high school. Me, Rich, Breakin, Iron Giant. Like we all came from the same high school because we all trained together, right?
Yeah.
Antioch,
Joe at Antioch High School, Lil Joe, all of us, right?
Yeah, okay.
So we all came from there, and we're battle. So that's why like a lot of our power moves are so like strong, because we all trained together to do that, right? So they all had this crew, but they didn't ask me to get in it. Like, and it wasn't their fault because there was somebody else that was kind of running it, and I wasn't asked to get in the crew. And then it was just kind of like, I was like, yo, so like, can I get in the crew? And the guy was like, well, I guess so. And it was just kind of like one of those like, yeah, it was like kind of like one of those like, damn, I guess so. And I was just like, all right, man, like, well, I guess I'm in the crew, right? So I wasn't really.
Do you remember your first battle with them?
Yes, we got smoked actually. And that's funny because that led to me joining the next crew.
That's the way to do your first battle, is get smoked and then come back and be like, that shit,
so,
I'm never getting smoked again.
Oh, absolutely. So like with that crew, we did a lot of like our talent shows and, you know, like performing arts shows, things like that. Well, another crew from another school came, right? They showed up and they heard that we breakdance because somebody's cousin went to that school, and they're like, yo, we got breakdancers at our school, so these guys are like, we're gonna come battle them.
Oh yeah,
that's what we used to do.
These guys pulled up and then they smoked us. These dudes show up, they got flares, they got head spins, they got 90s, they're just killing it, right?
Who were they?
Fury, and my boy Global.
Oh,
right.
Shit.
So
Okay.
these dudes and another dude, Eric Jackson, and my other boy OJ, who I would consider, like, rest in peace to OJ. He was actually, I'd consider my mentor. Like, he took me under his wing to show me a different level of breakdancing, right?
yeah.
So we battled them. I'm going out like all the time. I'm just getting smoked. I'm doing nothing but like windmills and trying swipes and things like that. Like, and these dudes are just comboing on me, and I'm just like, fuck, I'm losing, whatever.
Yeah.
Get a phone call. These guys show up to my house. They're like, "Hey, what's up? We just came to come train with you." I was like, "Oh yeah, come on in."
That's random.
That's fishy
Hella
as hell.
random.
I'd be like, I'm getting robbed.
But
today,
it was
dude.
like the dude who was a cousin to them. I knew him in high school.
Oh,
you know
okay,
what I mean?
okay.
So
That's
he
true.
brought them over,
Got it.
right?
Word. Okay.
They just needed somebody to train because they probably it was
Yeah,
them
Yeah,
three
so,
or
so they showed up, and then at the end of practice, as we're training for hours, they're like, "Yo, man, actually, we came by here because we think you could be pretty good, and we want you to get down with us."
Oh, that's dope.
And I was like, "What, for real?" I was like, "Hell yeah, let's do this!" So I show up with their crew shirt on,
Oh yeah,
to high school.
The beef, I love it.
and it kicked off, bro. It was just like
That's hella funny.
the dude who actually was running the crew. Me and him got into a battle at Rich's
Oh,
spot, and it
snaps.
was just like,
That's hella funny.
and that right there was like the beginning of East Bay Mafia.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's where East Bay Mafia started, and our crew at that time was called Voltron Crew. So we were Voltron, and then we turned over to East Bay Mafia. And that's kind of like where it initially began competing, right?
East Bay Mafia.
As East Bay Mafia. Right?
Okay.
But then we skip forward a little bit with OJ and that dude Eric Jackson, right? So we go back to them because they weren't necessarily in the crew. They were just kind of like older guys. Well, Eric was like our age, but OJ was actually tied to Renegades,
Okay.
right? So he knew Renegades. Him and Dion, who was his like sidekick dude, they would battle at Best of the Best.
Okay.
So they had routines and stuff like that they would do at Best of the Best. Sure enough, they start coming over the house. I start battling with them. And then next thing you know, I start entering competitions. They brought me to that level of competition.
Okay.
And then that's when we start showing up to events and things like that. And then that's when we run into the brothers.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
So you were almost like renegade. Like
Almost.
Almost. So why didn't you get into renegades?
So there's a few reasons for that. There's like, so I'm pretty loyal when it comes to a crew, right?
Okay.
If I'm in a crew, I'm in the crew. Like,
Yep.
I'm not one of those ones that are like,
Hopping around.
I'm in this crew, even though
That's the only way to do it. To be loyal.
Yeah, you have
it doesn't
to.
make
You have
sense
to.
to me to not.
You have to. And it's like, I don't jump around crew to crew and do all that. It's just like, if I'm with you, I'm with you. Like,
Right.
like you're my boys. You believe in me. Like, let's do it. Let's get this cracking, right? And so, like, being in that first initial crew, I never really felt like I was in there. Like, those were my friends, those were my boys, but I never really felt like I was in that crew, right?
Yeah.
Because I had to ask you
right.
to get in there. So I don't feel like I'm with you. These guys came to my house, right? So these are my boys. So then as I start training and we start doing competitions at East Bay Mafia, we start getting good, right? Start getting air flares. We start getting, forearm air flares. Fury's like, he did like an air flare and he was hopping on both hands like in the 2000s.
That dude was tight.
Right?
Way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Big time. Well, eventually I started training with OJ like a lot, right? Where he's like, yo, like, try this footwork, try this, try that,
Right.
do this move, do this. And he starts like handing me moves. He actually taught me halos, right? So he taught me how to do a halo. And then he started bringing us videos, right? And then this all still ties to Renegades because then it comes like my 16th birthday, right?
Right.
So I've only been breaking now like about a year and a half, right?
Right.
Year and a half, 2 years maybe.
And you already had all those moves down.
And now I got those moves.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
because we
pretty
drilled, there were certain ways that we drilled things.
Right.
Right. So I already had like a lot of those moves,
That's
right?
dope.
And now this is like 99, I think it is 2000.
Right.
When you start seeing Moy doing air flares on that QuickTime player.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
That was so
when
old.
Yeah.
That was when it was,
Quick
right?
time player.
So
Line wire, all that, man.
OJ brings a couple of the Renegades to my house. And this is like my 16th birthday. And like this will kind of like show you, like I was like, what? It was like 16 or 17, one of those. I was like straight up B-boy, bro. Like I lived this life. Like this was me.
Right.
Like I didn't go to school. I stayed home and I practiced. If I did go to school, I was practicing at school. I was in like, there was like a dance class that we had. I was practicing in there, right? So for my birthday, I was like, I just want to have a session. I want my boys to come through, like, let's session. A couple of the renegades show up. Now they're starting to recognize me and things like that. And then leading towards that, like, I'm already entering competitions now with East Bay Mafia. Right? So I'm entering with East Bay Mafia, which then turns into me entering Return of the Bboy with D-Rock.
Wow. Shout out to D-Rock.
Yeah, shout out to D-Rock.
D-Rock's nasty.
Here's the thing about D-Rock, though. So that day, and I specifically remember this because I was just like, damn, what the fuck? I got to prove myself again? Politics, who saw me break, dope, love that dude. Like, he gave...
shout out to Politics,
he
man.
Me hella knowledge, straight up.
Cool dude.
Like, he put me on a whole different level as well. And he was really tight with OJ, too. I show up to Return of the Bboy, and Politics is like, enter with Danny. And I was just like, all right, yeah, I'm down. Like, fuck, let's go. Danny's getting ready, and Danny walks up to me. He's like, bro, are you any good? And I was like,
battles remorse.
I was like, what?
Sometimes you get that feeling like, man,
that's hella funny.
Who's this?
Yeah, I was like,
who the fuck is this guy?
I was like, what, for real? I was like,
that's when you battle him right there.
So you
no, I did. At that point, I wasn't even tripping. I was like, you'll see. I was like, yeah, you'll see.
So you really have to prove your point then.
But then I have to prove my point.
Yeah,
right?
again.
Because now, D-Rock's asking. He's like, are you any good?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you'll see. And I just smile about it.
Yeah.
Didn't take offense to it because the dude never really like saw me.
Yeah.
So I didn't take offense to it. I was just like, you'll see.
Right.
And then we ended up winning Return of the Bboy.
Wow.
That's tight.
Yeah,
That's
I think
tight.
in that Return of the Bboy in the finals, we beat Machine and Marcus. I think that's who it was. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Shout out to both of them.
Yeah, I mean,
Shout out to Marcus.
the thing about, like, a lot of people think like Flex Slave, DSD1, we hate each other, right? Because that rival was thick.
It was
right?
thick.
Right.
But I could say, like, now as I'm older, is like DSD1 wouldn't have been as good as they were if Flex wasn't pushing that pressure on us. Because it forced us to bring our A game every time we saw them.
Right.
Every single time. If you didn't, like, you lost.
Right.
Period. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Right. So I have to tip my hat to these dudes.
Right.
As much as I just like didn't like Abe, and it wasn't that I didn't like him on like a, well, I guess it would be kind of on a personal level, but it wasn't like I had conversations with him or anything like that. But the thing was he did some stuff that it was like had my friends kind of push me away. You know what I mean? Like manipulation, right? So, and we'll get into that story too.
Yeah.
And that one's pretty.
Oh, we
interesting,
know.
and well, this one was actually before we were DSD1 as well. This was when we were on the cusp of becoming DSD1.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever been approached, or any of the brothers in DSD1 been approached before they got into Flex? Obviously, have you guys ever been approached by Abe to get recruited into Flex at all?
I don't think so. I don't think so. See, when Abe would talk to us, it was never on some like anger shit. It was mainly on like some like, oh, what's up, bro? Just like trying to be like real cool with us. Like
we still
trying to be smooth, but we're still gonna try and beat you type. So he was always being smooth and stuff. But I remember this day particular, right? Because it was, where were we? Sac State.
Okay.
There was a jam in Sac State, right? And there was quite a few people that remember this because we weren't DSD1 yet. And Fury came out, and that was the first time he did flare, air flare, and he hopped on both hands, like officially, like killed it. Crowd blew up, right?
Right.
Well, that was the initial day where I entered with Global, and Abe started like noticing, like us, right?
Oh, we're catching wreck.
Noticed Paul, or noticed Sky, noticed Fury, right? Well, then there's another jam that happened in Woodland, like not too long after that, right? We show up to that one. The very next day after that, there was a jam in Mountain View. Okay, so we went to the one in Woodland the day before. We competed, and then Abe ends up hopping in the car with Kelly, with Fury, and Sky. And then driving back, and he stays the night at Fury's house. Right? Well, in Mountain View, that was a 3-on-3. So that 3-on-3 was supposed to be me, Fury, and Sky.
Oh, shit.
Right? All of a sudden, the next day, I get hit up like, yo, we're going to enter with Abe.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm getting shook. Like, what the fuck is happening right now? You know
He was recruiting, yeah.
He was recruiting, right? And I mean, it is what it is. Like the main reason why I was like upset about it is because I kind of saw it happening. I was just like, damn, dude, like you guys really like kind of shook me for that. But then at that jam, I ended up entering with Lil Mikey from E-Rock and Raging Bull, Jordan, right? And we made it to the finals.
Yeah.
And Abe, Kelly, and Sky lost. I think they lost to like Stilo or somebody like that.
Okay. And
we ended up battling Headhunters, and we lost in the finals. But at the same time, it was just like one of those where it was like kind of that karma, you know what I mean?
Interesting.
That's
Abe
crazy.
swindled his way in.
Swindled his way in, you know, like, and that's why it's like that. There's a lot of history about like what I had to do coming up, right? So like getting into all these groups, it was like always like a prove yourself.
Yeah.
And it was just like, dude, how much more do I got to do this?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and eventually we got to a point where we were just like, we're gonna go DSD1. Like this is kind of the route. They approached me with going into DSD1 like not too long before a freestyle session. What freestyle session was it with the blue floor?
Freestyle session.
That was
on
7,
Boat?
I think.
No.
Freestyle session
was
7
It was.
I think it was
that reminding them one.
Yeah, Style Limits
Yeah.
won that jam.
Freestyle session 7 or
It was
8?
7, I think.
Yeah.
So that day, to give you like kind of like a backstory, I was really like training with Renegades like quite a bit. Like I was driving out to like Daly City because there was a show that was supposed to happen with Zulu Gremlin in Japan.
Okay.
And I was like hoping to go on tour with them because
that's
they had a
dope.
whole
That would've been
routine
tight.
that they were going to be doing, right? And I'm like 17 years old.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm going to go get on with these guys, blah, blah,
Right.
blah, whatever. And I had ties with my buddy OJ, so like we're all like training together, right?
Right.
Well, then we go to freestyle session 7, and that was going to be one of the first times where we entered as Renegades.
Okay.
We had entered one time before and I remember this place because I couldn't pronounce it. And I was a young kid, and it was the Yerba Buena Center in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right? So I couldn't pronounce it, and I was just like, what the fuck? So that's how I remember it. But that jam, like I said, I believe it was Wicked and all of Renegades. Poison was on there. I was on the team, but I can't find that footage for the life of me.
Oh, really?
And for some reason, like, it's just gone. Like, it seems almost like nobody remembers it, right?
Huh.
And we battled Headhunters, right?
I wonder if Mikey Ice has it.
I don't know. Mikey Ice
No,
has
that's the
like
Bay,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's
that's
Bay
the
footage,
Bay.
though.
That's hard,
That's
yeah.
deep Bay footage. You
Probably
know?
Moon
So I don't know.
Cricket.
Oh yeah, Moon
Moon
Cricket.
Cricket probably has it. You ain't gonna see it.
So
You
the
ain't
funny
gonna see
thing,
it,
so the
yeah.
funny thing about Moon Cricket though is Moon Cricket has a lot of our footage,
Oh,
and
wow.
I mean
He has a lot of other people.
A lot of my
a
footage
lot
too.
of our footage, as far as he saw us doing like street shows.
Oh yeah.
Like he has way footage from way back then, and I
Yeah.
reached out to him too, but he never hit me back. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'll chalk that one as a loss.
Yeah.
But that day we were supposed to enter, or that freestyle session, we were supposed to actually come out as like that new generation Renegades. But it never happened. It never happened because, well, one, I was injured, but I was still like, I don't care. Like
Right.
if this is the jam,
break
this is
my
the
arm for
jam.
this.
Like I had a bummed wrist, right?
Right.
That day we were training inside like a hallway, and then Wicked and Rockstrike get hit up by Style Elements to join them in freestyle session.
Okay.
So they dip
man.
off, and then they enter with Style Elements,
Yep.
and they end up winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
Good opportunity for them,
Right.
but now I just got put in the same situation from East Bay Mafia DSD1 situation,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So now I'm just like, bro, I don't know who I'm gonna battle with. Like at
Man,
this point, it's like everyone's just kind of like chalking it up. But then Kelly was the one who he was just like, look, bro, like I really want to make a run with this DSD1 thing. Like let's do this.
Right.
So when he did that, finally I was just like, hey man, I gotta get down with my boys. Like these are the guys that
That are
initially
loyal to you,
Well,
too.
they were until Abe got
That's
in
true.
there,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
So there was always that in the air. But with that, it was like these were the main guys that believed in me from when they first found me. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
So I was like, I'm gonna make a run with them.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was DSD1.
History.
That's crazy.
And honestly, too, we met the brothers by battling them in Brentwood.
Okay. Yeah. I
guys
think that's what
battled
they
them?
told me.
Yeah, we battled them in Brentwood. Yeah, they have a different view on that battle than we do. We
don't
think
remember
we
what
beat them. They think they beat us.
Yeah.
Okay,
You guys will have that argument all day.
So
Yeah.
when you guys battled, like when you guys met, that's when you guys were like, okay, do you guys want to join DSD1? Like, how did it initiate to like the brothers coming into DSD1?
Okay, so this story actually jumps all over the place because there's a lot of things that transpired like before it became DSD1, right?
Right.
So one, we met Day Day first.
Okay.
Because Day Day's aunt lived in Antioch.
Okay.
So he ended up going to Antioch High for like a semester or two.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
So we met him there. Right?
Yeah.
So we met him first. Then we ran into them at Return of the Bboy. This was when we battled Headhunters. They battled Zero Gravity.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
And we both like made noise at that event. Like I got lucky with a freeze that the music cut off and it was right on beat. So I got lucky like
Hella
right
dope.
there, right? And I'll say that, any day of the week, like that was luck. Got lucky there. Paul and them gave Poison a solid like battle, and it was like, yo, everyone knows who these guys are.
Right.
We run into them in Brentwood at this little like random like party. We battle them there. Everyone's cheering for us, and then that's when we start getting into contact. They're just like, yo, like, let's do DSD1. I didn't even know what the hell DSD1 meant. They were just like DSD1, and I'm like, what the fuck is DSD1? All right, fuck it, whatever. You guys want to make
Dick
a run at
sucking
it?
dudes. That's what it is. Let's go.
See where his mind's at, right?
What if they said that? Like, let's go
You
train,
would have been
and then they
captain
just
of the
pull.
team.
I'm joining.
Oh man.
Definitely wouldn't have did that.
Bring your knee pads.
Bring your
right.
knee pads.
Definitely wouldn't have did that. And honestly, that's where that name came from. It was the moment we met each other, we knew like we were down for each other because everybody's like coming against us, right? Everybody was coming for us. You know, they were Poison and them came for them. Headhunters, we battled them. And then it was just like everyone was just against us. We battled each other, and after that, it was just us against everybody. After they chalked Abe up, like not even dealing with them no more, it was just let's make the run.
And what was the timeline like? So 98, 99 was when you.
This was about 2000.
So, but yeah, this is later on. So
Yeah,
like
later on.
a couple years after.
Yeah,
Right,
this was like after. Yeah, I want to say it was like about 2000.
Yeah, 2000,
I
2001.
recall.
It was
Because
like
when
2000.
I started in 2001, and you guys are already making noise. So,
Yeah, I started breaking in about, I think it was 98, 97 or 98.
So y'all were like teenagers that were already making noise pretty much. Yeah, that's crazy. Because when I first started, it was in 01, and I went to the POW Jam. And I remember I was telling you, I walked into the building, bro, and it was a heated ass battle. I just remember seeing someone doing a backflip off of like a vending machine or whatever it was. Because they had a boxing gym right in the middle, ring. Right? And then you guys battled on the side or on the.
That was an exhibition battle with Flex.
Oh, okay.
That was an exhibition battle
crazy.
with Flex.
Wow, that's
Was
crazy.
it Machine that did the backflip off?
No,
thing?
it was
one of our guys.
It was
really?
Fury? Was
No,
it Fury?
it was this dude. We called him Crazy Jose.
Oh, Crazy
Yeah,
Jose.
that's exactly what I would
Crazy
expect
Jose.
Crazy Jose to do.
This dude would do
Yeah,
a flip off of anything, dude.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
just
telling
flip
you,
off
he
of
was-
it
On
and
that
then
Ivan?
buy some
Yeah.
chips out of the thing
He
too.
was wild, bro. He was wild.
That shit was crazy, bro. I just remember seeing somebody
Crazy
doing a
Jose.
backflip off of something. And I was like, what the? This is breaking. Hey, this is dope.
Yo, he was wild. He was
Yeah.
wild. He would do flips off of anything. He didn't care.
Yeah.
He would just go for it.
Because I thought that there was a fight going down, but then the crowd was going crazy
Yep.
because the battle was getting so intense.
So that
You know?
so that particular battle, we thought that a fight was going to go down.
Oh,
We
okay.
showed
So it
up
was
to
pretty
that
close.
battle thinking that we were probably going to get into a fight. That's
okay.
why we had people with us there that were just there for that.
Oh,
Okay.
Because we
Damn.
didn't know where it was going to go. Because leading up to that, it was like nonstop, like, talking mess to each other.
Right.
And it's like, all right, well, it seems like it's going that level. People keep getting in each other's faces.
Yeah.
People are talking mess online, apparently.
Yeah.
Like, because I didn't know a lot of like the online beef was happening.
Yeah.
You was
Because
just a b-boy. You
I was
practicing.
just training. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I didn't have a computer. I didn't do any of that stuff, right?
Right.
So later on in my career, or not even in the career, but after I quit breaking, I'm like on B-Boy World. I'm like, let me search up something on my
Freestyle
freestyle
session?
session to
Yeah,
see
freestyle
if there's
session
some
form.
videos of me. And
Yeah.
then there's just pages of just like
hate.
Talking
like
shit,
going
yeah.
back and forth with people, and I'm like, oh, these are where these battles are transpiring from. Like it starts making sense. It's like, okay, I remember we battled them, and this is where that escalated from.
I remember in high
That's
school.
so funny.
I
You
would,
got in so late to the news, but you're like, oh shit,
bro.
But
5-6 years later.
I mean, even if I knew about it, that this is what was going on, I mean, I'd still be down. Like I'm still like I got their back. You know what I mean? Like those are my boys.
Right.
Like, we're
And
gonna run
sometimes I think conflict is good in a battle, right? Because like,
Oh, yeah.
if you talk a little of crap, well, hopefully you show up to the event for one, and two is like back it up, right?
Yeah,
Don't be
absolutely.
hide behind a screen. You're just like, go to the event, and then you're just like, oh, I'm a ghost. Like, find me if you can. Because
Just-
some people will be like,
just
you know what I
It's a
mean?
battle, man. It's a
I love
battle.
that. I think I love that about our era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it was like if you knew somebody was like beefing about
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
like you knew
Handle
that they were
it.
going to battle each other. Something was going to happen. Like it was just fun. You know,
It
raw
was a
energy.
real battle.
It was raw energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just like, nah, like you're not going to beat me. I've been training. Like, let's do.
What do you
this,
think
right?
has changed on that aspect now? Like,
I mean,
same-
it's fake battles now. Who battles like that nowadays? I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of things. I think, well, one, it's like a lot of these people that are coming up, they're taught like from OGs, probably taught respect, right? Respect the OGs, respect this, respect that, right? But I think a lot of people are intimidated and they fear confrontation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they don't want to be looked at as the person that's being disliked, right?
Right.
So if I call you out, right, and then we start getting to yapping, there's going to be some people that like me. There's going to be some people that don't. It's like, and I think people are afraid of that. They're afraid of that. Like, don't think I'm a bad guy because I called this person out. When in reality, it's not. It's like, I'm calling you out because I think you're getting good and I know like what I can do. And I'm going to test what I've been training on you. If you lose, well, should have practiced more. If I lose, guess what I'm going to go do? I'm going to go practice.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think there's a disconnect somewhere.
This episode of Noise of the Broke Boys is brought to you by Multiple Passwords. Are you a pretentious tech company that requires unique login passwords containing obscure characters and emojis? Or maybe you're a social media platform that hoards data to sell while you keep your users busy trying to locate one of 50 passwords. Perhaps you're a website that requires users to change their passwords on a weekly basis because it's fun to watch them suffer while you scroll through their entire internet browsing history. Well, today I have a special offer for you. Log on to my online shopping cart with the password you have access to and type in your shipping info and press purchase. You will find that my cart already contains 20 scale rubber phallic replicas that are now being sent to your residence. Don't worry, this purchase is on me as you already have my credit card information stored as well. Allow about 3 to 5 days to ship. Once received, take each phallic replica and swallow them whole. This offer is only for a limited time, so act now. And now, on to the show.
Yeah.
And once younger B-boys find that, it would be right back to what it was.
Is that what you think is wrong with training nowadays? Is that people aren't training like that? Or
I think there's no structure to training.
oh, okay.
I think the way we came up, okay, so in the training aspect, right? We didn't have access to a lot of stuff.
Oh,
Okay. There was bboy.com actually. That was
dude, the freaking gifs.
that
Like,
was the
no, the
first
style 2F, OUF, or something like that.
Oh, the French one?
the
yeah,
first one
yeah.
the first one that I saw was bboy.com.
Bboy.com.
And that was because somebody at school had printed out a move list. And it had all these power moves,
Yep.
right? It had windmill, halos.
I learned how to
1990s,
windmill off of that.
2000s, turtles, floats, UFOs. It had like all of these different moves.
Well, I remember it listing. It like had a
Yeah.
step 1, and it would just explain it, and it was like, oh, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And then step 2, this, and then they'd show this really shitty GIF that was like, how to turtle, and it's like dude holding this, and then all of a sudden he's like here, and you're like, I don't know. How
I think
the
it
fuck
was
he did this.
Mr. Wiggles. I think
don't
he
know.
might have.
I
posted
remember
something like
Cujo
that.
had a GIF on there of him doing like a UFO, and there was like how to UFO, and it just showed him like literally like 2 pixels of him doing a UFO, and like I don't know, there's no way I'm gonna
I
learn how to
do remember
UFO
that.
off of this shit.
And the thing was it was like that was our structure.
Yeah.
That was our foundation of movements that we want to learn, right?
Yep.
So
Right,
we're gonna learn windmills. We're gonna get the windmills. Okay, well, and this is gonna break down like a structure of how it's trained, right? Okay, I got a windmill. All right, what's the next move? All right, now I got a wind swipe. Okay, now can I get to the wind swipe from the windmill? All right, can't do it. Let's practice it. Boom. Okay, windmill, wind swipe. I got that. All right, now that I got windmill, wind swipe, let's get back to the windmill. Okay, windmill, wind swipe, windmill. Okay, now how many times can you do that? All right, let's try to get to at least 3 to 5. Boom, 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 boom. If you can hit 3 to 5, you can hit at any time, even when you're tired, right?
Right, right.
Now it's a recovery move. Right?
Yeah.
If something just happened and I fall into a windmill, I know I could pick right back up into a swipe, right? Now let's add another move into there. Okay, now I got a 90. All right, now that's a third level, right? So now I just did a windmill, just came up to swipe, came back down to windmill because I tripped up, came right back up to swipe because now it's a recovery. All right, cool. Now let's bring it back up to a 90.
Right.
All right, cool. You got the 90. Now let's get out of the 90. You know what I mean? Like that structure of training
Right.
can be used in anything you do, right? Even style. Okay, all right, I got a thread. All right, cool. Now how are you gonna get into the thread?
Right.
Okay, cool. Now how are you gonna get out of it?
Right.
Fantastic. All right, now you got another move, right? This move looks dope. Looks similar to that one. Can you get from that one to that one? All right, now can you get out of it?
Right. Transition.
Because I think that's what's missing too. Is that there's not a lot of like understanding. Like if you get into something, you got to get out of it at some point. Because I think what used to like not frustrate me, I would say, but just I would look at people and be like, it's not done. Is like when someone does a 6-step, stops and stands up.
Yeah.
Some people, it's like, yo, that was dope.
It's not
End of the story. That looks sick. But freeze wise, stack wise, things like that, it's like there's certain ways to train these moves to where you can't fall.
Right.
To where you won't fall. You know what I mean? Or if you do fall, like how many times have you practiced falling? Right? Think about that. How many times have you done a move where you practice falling out of something? All right? I know if I do this handstand and I fall backwards, what am I going to do if I land on my back?
Yeah.
So there's a really good concept for that,
Yeah.
and it's off of Ivan, action figure. He calls it action reaction. So when you act, if you mess up or if you're trying to create something, you have to react right after that to cover up that move or just get out of it. So that's why he calls it action reaction.
Well, the first person I
really
saw
like.
where it just like boggled my mind when I started seeing that happen was Rockstrite.
Rockstrite is a
yeah.
perfect
Rockstrite.
example of that.
Rockstrite was the first one that I saw that kind of like made me like, whoa, like this dude's different. Because the first battle that I went to, Bboy Precise, he took me to my very first competition.
Oh, word.
And it was Break Mania in '98. Right?
Shit.
Shout out to Precise.
Yeah, shout out Precise.
Shout outs. Precise.
GS Breakers captain. He actually took me to my first event. He was an all aspects crew. I had never been to a breaking jam. In my mind, this is gonna be just like high school. There's just a bigger platform of B-boys breakdancing, right? At that event, Abe was battling, Crumbs was battling. And mind you, now we got videos that we've circulated around, right? Our first videos that we were seeing was like Battle of the Year,
B-Boy Summit.
Radiotron. We're watching Breakin 1, Breakin 2, things like that, right? So you see now, okay, oh damn, that's Crumbs, right?
Right.
So it's like, this dude is dope. We seen him at Battle of the Year '97. They won.
Right.
This guy's killing it.
Right.
Who is this guy? This guy is battling Crumbs. And he's giving him a run. Crumbs comes out, does some hand hops. Rockstrite comes out sideways and he starts hopping.
Wow.
Blew my mind. I'm in 8th grade. I'm just like, yo, this is like Crumbs is the guy.
That's crazy.
And you're giving him a run? Who are you?
Yeah. Wow.
You know what I mean? And then it just opens your mind up to be like, wow, like, so these dudes are all beatable. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
no one's untouchable. I don't know one breakdancer.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know one breakdancer at all that has an undefeated record.
Nope.
There's not one. Everybody has a down day.
Yeah.
You just got to catch them on that day, right?
Right.
So you tie that into that training. You tie that into thinking like, okay, well, if I can execute, if I learn how to do, like what you're saying, action, reaction,
Right.
I learn how to get into one move multiple ways, get out of the move multiple ways. I know how to execute. I know how to finish. I practice falling, and I really just practice what I do. How will I lose?
Right. Right.
You know?
Because you've covered all grounds at that point.
You've covered all grounds, right? What I think happens, and you can go back to any footage that you want and look at it. Nowadays, it's a lot harder to see because sets are very long. Like I try to watch battles, and sometimes they're just going way too long for me.
Crazy.
Too long.
And it's not saying that it's a bad thing. I mean, it's just their style of the way they break. It's just
It's just
to
different.
me, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. The person who always loses is the one that doesn't execute.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And the only way that you're gonna lose is if you lose.
Right.
This person ain't better than you. You did that.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. That's
So the way
your
your breaking is structured is like there's always an ending.
There's
usually.
always an ending.
Oh,
crashing.
It has to
I
be.
always say this: crashing is the only objective criteria in breaking. Everything else is subjective. But if you crash, you will lose.
You know you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
It's
you're gonna
about being
lose.
Yeah.
clean.
And honestly, like even with that now, I mean, would you say that German tap is a crash?
I wouldn't say it.
Nah.
I would say
Why not?
it's a very good way to cover up a crash, though.
Yep.
But I mean, I see people that do them on purpose.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And here's the thing with those is I've also heard people make the argument of, well, those are just looked at as crashes now. Because,
really?
Because some people drop straight down.
Yeah.
And just because they went like that, it looks like, oh, but I meant to do that. Hang on a second. No, you didn't. You stopped, bro. Like you didn't know that wasn't it.
Yeah. No, I mean that's I would say if it's messy, that's really what you got to look at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because definitely I've seen ones that are crashes, but they were clean, and I would probably give you credit for that.
Yeah.
But if you fall and you know it looks bad, I would just say that. Even if you meant to do it, you know what I mean? If it looks bad, I don't know. That's the only way I can really judge it. If it looks like shit to me, hey, it's shit. I'm not voting.
That's true.
First person that I saw doing that type of style was like Abstract from Skill Methods.
German
like,
taps?
No, but like his whole concept of crashing, because he crashes a lot, but he doesn't make it look like it's crashing.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see
Cloud
it.
was doing it too a lot.
But that's just, but it wouldn't be considered like a crash. It's just like the recovery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's how they're just like smoothing out the edges. You know what I mean?
The reaction.
Yeah, it's the reaction. And I think it's a great way to train.
Yeah.
You have to learn those. You got to learn how to get in and out of moves. If you don't learn how to get in and out of moves, you're going to find yourself at a dead end at some point.
Yeah. For
If
sure.
you find yourself at a dead end, where do you go next?
Yep.
You're laying on the ground.
Laying on the ground?
What do I do? You're
You get up
losing,
and
bro.
you're like, oh, I'm losing this.
You know what I
battle.
Yeah,
lose,
But that's
I
kind of
guess.
like how you create too. You create from just
Oh my
thinking
God.
about an idea and then just like saying you're on your head and you want to go back down.
Absolutely. There's levels to everything, right? There's always going to be a level. That's why there's ground power, there's power, and then there's air power, right?
Right.
So there's always going to be levels to something, right? Whether you're going down, up, whatever it may be. My creativity, the way I came up with this was, like I said, you got to remember, bboy.com, there was a foundation of moves, right? They were all power moves, okay? So if you're practicing windmills, you're practicing head spins, you're practicing 90s, now you're practicing air flares, you're practicing air chairs, you're practicing all these movements, right? Now, that's a foundation, right? If you use that as a foundation of movements, okay, you can branch off to anything that you want, right? Knowing that at any given time, I could jump in and out of any one of those moves, right? If you can sit back and just watch what the move looks like, you'll pick up on what the next move is just like that, right? And that's where the creative side came in for me, okay? If you watch, like, let's say the DSD1 video, right? If you watch just my segment from beginning to end, you'll see that one of those moves, all the way leading to the end, there was an evolution of it throughout that video. And I never noticed it until like I watched it like within the last like 10 years ago.
I never caught that.
And it's an evolution of a move, right?
Interesting.
So, for example, that move that I did where I got lucky at Return of the Bboy and the beat cut off and I was going against headhunters. I literally jumped through, landed on my forearm, stopped it right there, right? That was it. Beat drop.
I remember that, dude.
Right?
I do remember that.
So that's where I stopped. That's where it stopped at right there, right? It was the other thing. The next thing I practiced was I was practicing roll back to my forearm. Okay. That was another move that I was, trying to learn. So now I'm learning forearm, do a thread. Okay. So next I'm practicing roll back to forearm, do a thread. All right. I get that move down. Now that's one of my next moves. I'm hitting it. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm comfortable hitting it at any time, right? Here we go. Now I'm doing another battle. Jump through my forearm. I see somebody mimic it because they knew I was going to do it. The next battle I do, now I jump through to my forearm. I add the thread because now you're going to try and mimic that freeze when now I've already been practicing how I'm going to get out of that forearm, right?
Right.
Now let's fast forward to the end of my segment of the DSD1 video, right? It was literally jump through, forearm, thread, drop to chair, track out, right? People saw me jump to forearm, go to chair. People saw me just hit chairs, just hold them. No one ever seen me put that combo together
Interesting.
because I put that combo together that day.
Wow.
That combo was put together on the spot. That's why if you look at Bobby, Paul, everybody, and they're going crazy, that's because they never seen that before because I never did it before.
Interesting.
And it was all because I practiced roll back thread. I practiced forearm to chair. And then that track out of it, that was just, I need to get out. Like I'm in the chair. How am I going to get out of this? I just track.
You were the first one I saw that flip and go up too. I used to do like a turn
I was able
Combo.
to do it. I wasn't really like those type of moves though. Those weren't like structured moves for me. It was just kind of like
a blow up type.
yeah, it was just like I know I can chair. Let me try to go up to my forearm because a lot of moves too. It's like I did it right on the spot. It wasn't like I was like practicing those, but I had a foundation of moves that I would do like a forearm lift up and things like that. That it was like I knew if I get to my forearm, I can go anywhere. I can go up, I can go down, I can come off to the side, I could drop to my shoulder. It was just I practiced that particular stack, right? And that's where the creativity is I had a structure of moves and then I just branched off. And once, I mean, in all reality, that's creativity.
Yeah, it is.
If you can look at something and see something else,
Right.
you're creative.
Especially when it's on the spot. Like you already have all these structured moves broken down piece by piece. What the dope part is that you had certain moves that were set, but then you added each individual set moves and combined it into one. You compiled it, right? And then you just killed it at the end with the track.
Yeah, because
So
that's
pretty dope.
well, I had something that was, I used to call it the power of three.
Power of three. Oh,
Yeah,
that's dope.
I always used to call it the power of three.
Okay.
Where I would practice. I mean, my practices were long. They were probably like
Back
8
then.
hours, 10
Back
hours.
then.
My longest
Yeah.
practice was like 16 hours.
Damn.
And so like, as I would practice these moves, if it was a rollback to my forearm, I would practice hitting that move 3 times in a row without messing up, right? Because I knew at the end of practice, if I hit that 3 times in a row without messing up, I got that move, right? The very next day when I'd practice again, I would start practice with those 3. I'd hit those 3, boom, boom, boom. If I didn't hit it, I'd keep going until I hit them 3 times in a row.
It's crazy.
Once I hit them 3 times in a row, I know at any given time, whether I'm tired, sleepy, whatever, I'm hitting that move, no matter what.
Right.
You know who used to train like that? The twin brothers from Stockton. Those powerheads. That's how they trained.
And those dudes were some of the baddest dudes that I thought of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Power-
that's
power,
exactly
yeah.
how they train. They train like they put like 5 moves, and go over and over and over, and then they'll twist them in.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's because they already laid their foundation. They know what they can get in and out of.
Right.
Once you learn what you can get in and out of, it's limitless, right?
Right.
Like I heard, who was it? Lowe told me one time. He said, all the moves have been created.
Right.
He's like, it's hard to come up with new moves. All new moves have been created. Moves have been created. Transitions and concepts haven't.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's still so many out there. I got a move right now that I'll tell you guys that I did one time and no one has done it to this day. I'm willing to give it to somebody if they can pull it off. Like, I'm not kidding. I did it one time and then that was on my way out of breaking. And that was because everyone knew that move that I was going to do.
Interesting.
Everyone knew it. I flipped it and I still have not seen it done to this day. And I will tell you who I did it for because I planned that move for somebody.
Who was it?
I'll tell you later.
All right. Yo, I'm like
Maybe it wasn't
Off
worth
camera.
doing.
No. I'll tell you like towards
It's,
the end.
it's-
But it's gonna tie into the battle strategy of how I used to battle.
Okay.
Okay, it ties into all of that because I did a lot of like, I guess you can say I did a lot of like recon. You know what I mean? Where if you saw me at a jam, you probably saw me watching preliminary battles. And it wasn't because I was bored and I didn't want to practice. Is I wanted to see who was next up.
Right.
If I knew who was
Strategizing.
next up, if I saw somebody blow somebody else up, I knew that there's a chance that at the next jam, I could be that next person that they throw that blow up at. So I was trying to get ready for anybody that was underneath me while preparing for the people that were ahead of me.
Yeah, because we didn't have no footage, so it was on your head,
Didn't have no footage. I had to
on
watch.
your mind.
I do something like that too.
Yeah.
Like if we're at a competition, if we battle, like if I entered with you or Kurt or whoever, basically watch the battle, right, and then just strategize based off of what you see.
Yeah,
You know
absolutely.
what I'm saying? And then you be like, oh, that dude's on tonight, so I'm off. Hey, Chuck, you got him.
Yeah.
You've been killing it all night, bro.
And
You
honestly, even in battle, even in like a battle strategy, I would bait people. I would
Yeah.
bait people to certain moves, right?
It's smart to do that.
So if I knew you just do footwork, right? If I knew you do just footwork, I'm
Right.
coming out and I'm throwing power at you,
Right.
right? First round. First round.
Yeah.
Perfect example was the drift battle.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Drift battle, I didn't call that one. They called me up to battle him, right?
Yeah.
But I had to strategize because I hadn't trained in so long. But I knew I still had a foundation of moves that I learned from when I was in like 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade.
Right.
that I won't lose. I know I can do windmills. I know I can do halos. I know I can do forearm air flares. Right. I know that if I just practice for a couple of weeks, even a month and a half, 2 months, I got at least 2 air flares.
Yep.
And I can combo those together because I've practiced those stacks, right?
Right.
So I had to strategize when I went into that battle with him because I hadn't battled in so long. So I didn't know like how this was going to turn out. If I come out and I let him go first, that could be the end of me. I already lost. I probably would have lost 1 round already right out the gate. Now I'm playing behind.
Right.
Right. So now my battle strategy is, you don't know what I've been practicing. It's going to be a 5-round battle. I need to win 3. Yeah. That's it. Yep. So I'm guaranteeing that I'm going to win the first one by coming out and throwing power, right?
Right.
So I come out, I throw power at him real quick, boom, 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 hit the freeze. Forces his mentality to think, I got to blow it up just the way he just did. Right. So it baits him to try and do a blow up. But he probably wasn't ready for a blow up, so it would consider to be a crash.
Interesting.
Right? So he would stumble.
Right.
Next round, I just got to do one of those sets that I practiced. Right? Now I'm up 2.
Right.
Right? I haven't done nothing crazy.
Right.
I just baited you to where now you're thinking you're behind. Now you're playing from the back. Now you got to think like, fuck, I got to win like 4 rounds.
Right.
By the time we get to the 4th round, I'm already up 3.
It's already playing catch up for him.
Now you're playing catch up.
Right.
Now you got to do something spectacular and hope that you pull it off.
Right.
So what happens if he had known that you were going to do that strategy and came out first instead and threw, I don't know what, some shit that you couldn't do, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like what would be your response
like
to
as
that?
as if the crowd blew it up?
Yeah, like he did some crowd blow up and it was like, I'm trying to remember what Drift can do, but anyway, some dude that, let's say they hit, I don't know, some crazy shit, one hand air flares or something that like you can't do. Like what would you do? How would you respond to that? Yeah.
My strategy if someone would throw a blow up first would be, don't top rock, jump straight into power, spin until you fall.
Okay.
Right? Because now it's a momentum swing.
Okay.
Okay. So, and a lot of people don't think about momentum swings, right? So when people, and most like, and this is a mentality back of like 2002 and stuff. This isn't current day. Like current day, that battle strategy might not even work. Right. But at this particular time, like this was, I don't even know what year that was when I battled Drift. It was like later when I came back, probably like 2000.
Yeah, I remember you left the scene and you came back because they
Something
asked
like
you to
that.
battle Drift.
Yeah. And then,
I was actually there.
oh, were you? Yeah, that was wild. I was so sore the next day. that was like, rough.
Damn, I'm hurt.
But if somebody was to do that, right? My thought process is I got power. I'm either going to do a head spin pencil drill and just spin as many times as I can and hope that I stay up.
Yeah.
And if I do that, the crowd's just going to keep cheering until I fall.
Yeah.
Right.
Or I'm going to spin a 90 and try and spin as long as I can.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's going to be quick, boom. And
Is your mentality though to win that round or just keep the hype from their blow up?
Yeah.
And then take them the next round.
Swing the momentum and take it the next round.
Yeah,
because
that's what I would think too.
Because now people, I might have lost that round.
Yeah.
But now everyone's ready for what am I going to do
Yeah,
next.
exactly.
Right?
That's what I'm thinking.
They're
too.
ready for anything that I'm going to do next. So all I got to do is either like stack on beat.
Yeah.
Hit a quick little power, a little trick, something.
Right.
As long as I'm on beat and I'm hitting, he has to hit. He has to perform now.
Yeah.
Because now he heard the crowd. He heard them cheering for me. So now the pressure's on him.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you don't execute,
Then you
My immediate thought.
now we're here.
Right.
Now we're back at square
That's
one.
how it
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
be.
exactly.
That's
My
exactly
immediate
how
thought
it used to be.
in that situation would be to just intro a blow up and just take him to the floor, like dance it out and leave and be like, all right, like do a somewhat short round. Hey, you just threw a bunch of shit, throw it again. And then he's not, and then take him that round.
But
You know what I mean?
2000s was a lot of blow up days. That's all
Yeah,
it
it
was.
was. It's true. Yeah.
All it was.
It was.
But I think where everyone's really focused on dancing and footwork, which is great.
Yeah.
You know, I think the dancing and footwork aspect of breakdancing has gotten way better.
Yep.
Right? Like I actually like seeing people do footwork and top rocks nowadays.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Like I can sit there and be like, oh, that's actually
Back then, it was like your top rock was like a
was only
power
a few
circle.
people.
yeah,
You
it's
know?
like all right, bro. Like
And like, hey, I got
I
you.
get it.
We're gonna handle this in the
I
moves.
get it.
I get
Let's
it,
get
bro.
on with the windmills already.
Yeah.
God
I
damn
get
it.
it, bro.
Do your
You can
head spin
dance.
drill, air flare 90.
Do something
bro.
hard.
Like I get it, bro.
Yeah.
You can
That
dance.
was
You got
everybody's
you.
thing. Come on, do something hard.
Do something.
We got you. Right?
The good old days.
Yeah. So like with those, like someone would come out and if they start doing like like Top Rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
You got to remember that like back then, or even like around our time, it's like that lowered the mood.
Yeah, it did.
You know, unless you had like an army of people behind you, like
Yeah.
you know, going crazy. It's like you better hit something, right? Otherwise, all them Top Rocks and dancing, you're going to lose the energy, right?
Yeah.
And that energy is what everyone feeds off of. That
Right.
will decide if you want to
Yep.
battle or not.
For sure.
If you think about it,
It
because
is.
if
I agree.
if we think about judging, right? And now, I've heard you guys talk about this.
Judges don't matter.
judging
in my
judging
opinion.
on, well, they do matter.
They
do
do matter
matter.
to
They
win
do
the
matter.
battle.
They do
the
matter.
battle.
They do matter. Me and
and-
had this argument.
No, but hear this out though. Hear this out. They do matter.
They do matter.
Because you got to remember this. That event, those judges, the only reason why they're judging is because that promoter respects their opinion,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Your goal isn't just to please them. You got to please everybody
Yeah.
in this place,
Yep.
right? So if I start working to please just them, that's the opinion of 3 people, not a whole crowd, right? If I please these people at 3 different jams, guess who they're going to be voting for? Because they're going to want to see what I pull
Yeah,
out next.
exactly.
Right.
That's
Right?
why I'm saying judges don't matter, because you can, if you get this crowd on your side, this judge is going to look like a fool for not voting for you. You know what I mean?
True. And there are judges that like they've judged great. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They will tell you like I didn't like your footwork.
Yeah.
I think you need to do this. I think you need to do that. But I think people need to understand like you're gonna dance the way you dance at 1st. You're gonna, you know, 6-step the way you 6-step. Tap into that creative side for right now, right? Get those confidence in knocking these moves out. Once you get that confidence out, let's start working on footwork now. Let's start working on the footwork. Let's start fixing the dancing. Shit, hire somebody to teach you how to dance.
Right.
There's so many people like Wacko. Like,
Yeah.
you could hit Wacko up and be like, bro, like, can you train me?
Wacko's nasty.
He's nasty.
Shout out
with
to
Top
Wacko,
Rocks.
man.
Yeah.
He's nasty.
Right.
Hire that man.
Right.
Teach me, bro. Like, teach me how to dance. I'm gonna come out here and do my tricks. Teach me how to dance. Guess what? Now that's one criteria I just sewn up. Who does footwork? Who's teaching? Okay, teach me some footwork stuff. I'm already tapped into how I create, right? Now I just got to tie those same moves into that footwork, and I'm gonna be creating exactly the same way.
Making a bigger vocabulary.
But you know what I think that's missing? That we actually had people around us all the time. And now like you could just see it online and you don't even go out and reach out to people. And back then we had a certain crowd. Right? It was just us, the homies. And now it's like, oh, I don't want to have a mentor. I could just look at YouTube
Yeah.
and how to break.
But I have something for that. So the thing with that is like you're not gonna learn the perspective of the artist that's creating that you see, right? Because like and as an artist, they can project work and you can look at it all day long, right? But there's so many different details that goes into it, you know, like the philosophy behind it, the creativity. How did you come about with this type of a particular style? You know, like where did it stem from, right? And then you can grasp that information and you can correlate it within your own style. You know what I'm saying? And you can't get that when you're just looking at a b-boy and looking at them dance and trying to mimic them. That's the whole purpose of
Yeah, but why do you
having
think they
that.
still keep doing that?
Well, because they're winning.
Because
Because they're winning. I mean, look at the big
could
picture.
could be
You can go on YouTube right now. You can bite a set from somebody from like Europe.
right.
You can go to your local event and start throwing it, and you're gonna win.
And they won't call you
Bro.
a biter.
And they won't call you a biter.
Yeah,
That
That's a
is
fact.
so annoying.
But
That's
here's
crazy.
the thing though. You can pick those people out real quick because that set never changes.
right.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
That set never changes, right? So let's say I'm a up and coming b-boy, right? I see this guy doing the same set all the time. By the 4th, 5th jam, I should have a set ready for that move. I should have a set ready for that set, right? You should not be able to beat me with that set,
Right.
right?
yeah.
You literally are able to plan for it. You want to, if
It's
everyone,
true,
if
it's
it's
true.
okay for biting, watch the video of who beat that guy.
Right.
Bite that dude.
Right.
You know what I'm
It's true.
saying?
It's more strategy.
If everyone's okay with biting, bite that dude.
Right.
He beat him.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Go after the best.
But that's what I mean, though. It's like it's taking away that like concept of battle strategy of just like understanding, like, yeah, this person just may have blew something up. Doesn't mean that they can get in and out of what they just did. They know a set structure of a move. Wait till the next rounds when they're done. We're done biting all their sets.
Right.
What do they got next?
Right.
You know, I kind of have a weird conspiracy theory about this too, because
here we go.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I think with battle strategy, like you said, you can plan for these things. And so one of the things like with DSD1 and Flex Flav obviously was like routines. You guys were very known for routines. And there got to be like this kind of thing in the scene where it's like, ew, routines.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think it's all these motherfuckers that are losing to these routines that don't like them.
That's exactly
And
what
so
it was.
then, yeah, and so my conspiracy theory is kind of like, oh, we're too raw for this. But no, you're not. You're just losing to it.
Well, what it was too is a lot of people that were judging, they were picking us apart.
Yeah.
That's how like the DSD1 hate was happening, right? Some of the stuff they were saying was true though. You know what I mean? It's like when they're saying, "Oh, you're not dancing."
Right.
"Oh, you can't do footwork."
Kind of true.
Yeah, but we're making up for it somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? We're making up for what we can't do with the routine, right?
Right. Right.
We're also saving our moves,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So we can throw routines at you this whole battle. By the time I see whoever's in the finals, I got all my arsenal of moves because I haven't used a thing.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
It was the power of a team. Now, if you're against people doing a routine, stop throwing 3-on-3s. Stop throwing 2-on-2s.
That's exactly what they did.
Right?
It started just throwing these one-on-ones
Right?
and stuff.
And look what's happening.
Yeah.
Right? So now
the crews are disappearing.
they're
Oh,
disappearing.
there's no more crews.
Yeah.
They're
there's-
disappearing.
It's a super crew everywhere you go.
I couldn't even watch this freestyle session. It didn't feel the same.
I can tell you right now, if I had a set number of people, if I had 3 people, 3 young dudes that really want to train, right? 3 young dudes that really want to train, and I met up with them once a week. This same tactic of training, this same tactic of battles, they would literally take back the Bay Area.
Yeah,
They would
I think so.
literally turn this place back into what it was. I think you said it earlier. People from out of town were flying out here.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's not
Why?
really happening anymore.
Why?
Right.
They were looking for that energy, right?
Yeah.
Right.
We were
Exactly.
bringing it to them. Anybody that came out of town, we were battling. We were giving it to them, right?
Right. Yep.
That strategy is gone. People got tired of routines, but I think that's what we need again.
Yeah, I
I've
think
been
so.
saying it for the
think-
longest
I
time.
think we need routines.
Yep.
And see, the battle routine strategy was, like I said, we were trying to save moves. So we're coming up with these routines, trick routines, not dance
Yeah.
routines. The only reason why we started doing dance routines was because Abe went to Seattle and he started training with Massive.
Yep.
So Massive started showing him dance routines and stuff like that, from what I understand.
Right.
I don't know if that's 100%
I don't know
true.
if it was massive.
Massive
Well,
and Ground Zero.
It was ground zero. Yeah.
Ground
Well-
zero, probably.
There was a point in time where Abe was rocking a Massive Monkeys jersey.
No,
at
he did
every
go to
jam.
he did go to Massive.
Yeah.
At every jam. You know what I mean?
He hung out with
So he was rocking that jersey, and that's when I initially first started seeing him do the dancing stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah.
That's when I started seeing that.
yeah.
Right? And that has Massive written all over it.
Yep.
Right? Not saying he's biting.
Right. He got inspired.
Got inspired by it, right?
right.
And he started making his own routines.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you look at Ground Zero, the brothers.
Yep.
They're doing routines.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
It's not the most orthodox routines.
I mean, it
but
was
they're
just
doing
some wild
routines.
shit.
Some wild shit, right?
Yeah.
Now we got our brothers over here. These brothers are doing routines.
Some wild shit too.
Some wild shit.
Yep,
But now they're adding dancing to it because people keep saying we're not dancing.
Right.
That's where the routines
Yeah.
started getting up here, up here, up here, up here.
No, and then I seen like a lot of people overseas, like the Koreans and stuff. They started doing tricks and dancing at the same time, and it was like, oh shit! Out here in America, we got to take it the next level too. You know what I mean?
But if you also think about it too, is like a lot of the routines came from Battle of the Year.
That's true. Yeah.
That was our first like real video that we watched.
Yep.
Was Battle of the Year.
Yeah.
I was inspired
Yeah.
by Battle of the Year. Majority of those dudes did power, but just seeing that showmanship of
Yeah.
like suicidal lifestyle,
The family.
the family style elements when they did it, Rock Force when they did
I
it,
missed those battles.
dude. Like Rock Force was probably one of mine. Like personally, one of my biggest like ahs. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, who are these people?
Yeah.
Right.
Like they are dope, right?
Yeah, they're
they
legendary,
were one of
dude.
them.
Shout out to Rockforce.
Yeah.
Gerald. I mean,
Dude,
Shout
Maya
out to
to
Daryl,
me,
man.
Maya. Oh my
Maya
God.
to me was
Yeah,
hands
Maya.
down the
Maya was
rawest
nasty.
because he was the first one I saw mixing power moves with style tricks.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
He was the first one I saw doing that spider, doing
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
He was the first one I saw doing that. You know
Right.
what I mean? Killing it, right?
Right.
And then we go back to like freestyle session 3, right? Freestyle session 3 with flying tortillas.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, with who was that?
Ivan.
Yeah, with Ivan,
Storm.
Flowmaster.
Storm, yeah, Flowmaster.
Right?
Yeah.
you see all of them, and mind you, before we saw Freestyle Session 3, we saw the Storm video, we saw the Ivan video. We're seeing these guys, and we're just like, yo, these dudes are raw. And then you see Freestyle Session 3, and you're like, yo, this crew cannot be beat. These are the guys that, you know, we were looking at like, oh shit, individual videos, these were dope.
Right.
Now we see Soul Control.
Yep.
I'm like, yo, Soul Control is running these dudes right now. Like, you see this?
Radiotron.
Pablo. Rest in peace, Pablo. This dude killed it.
Yeah.
Hitting air flares, bro.
Charles
Shook me,
too,
bro.
man.
I saw them 2 air flares in the 90. Bro, Charles's power. If you watch the battle of DSD1 and Soul Control, right? That was the first battle that we entered as DSD1. Me personally, I feel like we got hated on in that battle. And I can explain why on that one too.
Who was judging?
I don't know.
Where was it?
It was in Mountain View. Yeah, it was in Mountain View. That B girl, Aiko, right?
Okay.
Do you remember her? Yeah, she was an OG, and I don't think it was intentional to like hate on us, right? But the way we looked at it was this dance floor was, we were like 40 feet away from each other.
Oh, dude,
right? It was in a gymnasium, and we were like really far.
It is a battle of the year battle,
dude. If you do your round, you're walking like almost the whole gym.
Jeez, what?
Bro, that's what it felt like. You're just like walking like,
that's crazy.
I'm coming.
I'll come. Hold
I'm
up,
coming.
bro.
Hang on, I'm coming.
I'll
right
be there.
That's
well, as the battle started getting more heated, you know, it's getting closer. But she kept yelling at us, back up, DSD1, back up, yelling at us. Mind you, Charles is like talking mess to me. Oh, you suck, this, you suck. I'm like, yo, we're bringing it to this dude. Let's go. And we're doing power, right? Yeah. But our power mimicked the way Charles and Soul Control did their power at Freestyle Session 3. We were doing Flare 90 flares. We're doing things like that. Like, we looked up to these dudes the way they did power. My boy Global, the way he did his power, looked dead on Mega Man.
Oh, okay.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the guys that we looked up to, and we're giving them a run. Like, they're yelling at us, right? So we're just like, yo, we got to keep bringing it.
Yeah.
Goes to a tiebreaker.
Oh, shit.
Right?
Oh.
At the end of the tiebreaker, I mean, it's neither here nor there if we won or lost. I really didn't care, right? Because I was just juiced that, like, we were hanging with these guys and it went that far, right?
Yeah.
That's dope.
The end of the battle, I'm like, Charles was like messing around and did like an air flare. And then I did some ugly air flares. Like, my first air flares were so trash, right? I did these ugly ones. And Charles was like yelling at me, and Ike goes, "Oh, I told you to stand back. You're gonna have to get disqualified." And she's yelling at me. What? Talking about disqualifying me while I just did that. And Charles is yelling at me doing the same thing. And I'm like, I'm gonna get disqualified.
That's crazy.
And then she's like, "Oh, Charles, we're gonna have to talk about you too." And I'm like, "Oh, bro, we just got hated on." I was like,
"That's whack."
I was like,
"You guys got disqualified?"
We ended up losing. We ended up losing that battle. But the thing was I was just like, I wasn't upset with her. I wasn't upset with the way things panned out. It just seemed that way, right?
I got you.
So it seemed that way. But after that, me and Charles got tight.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Charles is my guy. Like, me and it, like...
Shout out to Charles. He's dope.
Yeah, shout out to Charles. Me and him...
Yeah, we need to get you on the podcast,
Come on the podcast.
Hey, to this day, I'll hit Charles up saying what's up. He'll hit me up saying what's up, you know? Just
Charles
randomly.
cool.
Good dude.
Yeah,
really good dude. We literally, like, if I could say we idolized any breakdancers, it was Soul Control.
Right.
It was Soul
Yeah,
Control.
they were
Because
killing it,
the
man.
way they threw power in California, I didn't know of anybody throwing power like that.
That's a fact.
And they had hitters too. Like, they had
Hitters.
Mega Man,
Eric, they had
Charles.
Mega Man.
You know
Marcio.
who I thought was really underrated but flowed like crazy? Was Barmac.
Oh yeah, shout out to Barmac.
Barmac from Soul Control. People do not like talk about this man.
Interesting.
He was the first one I saw doing German taps, the smoothest I've ever seen. Just smooth.
You see how he did the babies and then...
Bro, he would spin in one spot while tapping.
He's actually the guy that taught me it.
That's like the
He's
Storm
dope.
way.
He was dope.
Yeah.
And see, we saw all these, and these were like our inspiration. So like our battle mentality came from that. Right. It didn't just originate from like us watching videos and trying to mimic what we saw on TV.
Right.
We saw the dudes that we idolized coming for us.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So when they were coming for us, we're just like, oh, this is how we got to do it.
Right.
This is how we got to do it.
That's tight.
Yeah,
I mean, like, in
damn.
breaking, it is one of those things where the people you idolize really could be, they're like at that distance where you can touch them to battle them and everything.
And you got to remember, these dudes are not unbeatable.
No, not at all.
Everybody has chink in
That's
their
what
armor.
they thought.
Bro, I can tell you right now, I thought almost everybody in the scene can beat me when I was at my peak because I knew what I wasn't good at.
Oh,
I
yeah.
knew what I wasn't good at. I knew how I could be beat. I just tried to hide that in ways where people couldn't figure that out.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Smart. Yeah.
And so the
But
way
you were mad confident, man. It was.
but it was because of how I trained. It
Okay.
wasn't confident. Like I didn't have to tell people they were whack. You know what I
Kid
mean?
confident.
Like right, I said conflict and confident. So like I've listened to a lot of your podcasts, right?
Dope. We got one
And-
fan. Let's
and
go.
I'm gonna tell you why.
1 to a million.
I'm gonna tell you why because
I'm
all
so
of these
lovely.
people, all of these people you've been talking to, I wanted to hear the perspective of what they go through
Yeah.
when they go through battles. Right?
Yeah. That's
Munch, right?
Yeah.
When you were talking to Munch, and he said Abe was in his ear saying, "Look at this dude. This dude sucks. He can't even do this. He can't do that." I should not need to put down somebody else in order to hit my move. I should never have to do that.
You should have self-confidence.
I should
Exactly.
know at any given moment I'm gonna hit what I'm coming here to hit.
right.
If I gotta put you down, I'm in fear that I'm losing.
Right.
I think I'm gonna lose. What happens if this dude that can't do footwork blows up?
Right.
Now you're shook.
Right.
Yeah.
That thought of trying to put that person down just went out
And
the
once you're
window.
shook, it's like you're
Oh,
already
it's a
lost.
wrap, bro. It's a
Yeah.
wrap. And there's
Man,
been
you gotta be.
bro,
You gotta.
there's been so many times I've been shook in battles. When we first battled Havoc Coro at Bboy Summit, I was shook. I was like, yo, these them cats that we saw from Texas, they're hitting all the mirror flares, and they came for us.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
speak on
Just
that.
because they saw us doing power in the circles. This was when Bboy Summit, I think it was 2001, 2002. One of those. It was one of those years. I don't know who pissed off Havoc Coro, but they came for everybody.
Yeah.
It was the year that they were just sharks in the water. They were battling everybody they saw. And we were on that list. And it wasn't that like we had a name. It was somebody saw us doing power and they came for us, right? So here's the thing. So growing up, I started wrestling. I've been wrestling since I was like 3 years old. I know body awareness. I know how my body is supposed to move, right? That battle in particular was the first time I saw a one-handed forearm air flare. And because Boy threw it at
That was
me.
Boy, yeah.
Yep.
Shout
Boy-
out to him. He's
Yeah, that dude
crazy.
was raw.
Nasty.
Like I said, these dudes are raw. I was shook. I'm like, damn, these dudes are throwing everything at us.
crazy.
We didn't have much to throw at them.
Yeah.
Right? We had air flares, we had all that, but these dudes are coming with crazy tricks. Boy does a one-handed forearm air flare. Immediately, I'm just thinking about it like the whole time. I get home, I shit you not, in my bedroom, I hit 3 in a row.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
I shit you not. It was just a pop, pop, pop. And I was just like, motherfucker, that's how you do it. and it at that point, I never stopped doing it. But the thing was, I never threw it in a power combo
Right.
because that's what everyone was doing. Right? So in the DSD1 video, you'll see that I hit a move, I get to my head, and I pop, and I freeze on that forearm. Because at that point, I'm like, I'm not going to combo it like he's comboing it.
Right.
I got to change something.
Right.
And that's that creative mind of being like, not necessarily being a biter.
Yeah.
Flip.
It's
gotta
I
flip it.
need to understand what a flip is, right?
Yeah.
All my moves came from somebody.
Right.
I'll tell you that right now. Air chair,
Right.
Ho won. He was the one doing chairs.
Right.
You know, power moves, soul control, right?
Right.
Let's name another move. The jump through forearm freeze. Iron Monkey does it on his hand, right?
Yeah.
He does it backwards. He does it forward, and he turns.
Yeah.
Right?
And then he
Crumbs
does the
did this,
flip.
right? I did this.
Right.
I'm training these moves because I'm doing recon, because now I see these dudes inside local comps. I might have to face you. So if I
Yeah.
have to face you, I better come with something.
Right.
I better have something for you, because if I don't, you're just gonna cook me. I'm gonna be shook. So I have to be ready for you at some point. So all my moves were tailored around like, okay, what's gonna happen if I face this person? What am I gonna do if I face this person?
You always, I guess your confidence came from always having a plan for that. right?
Always.
Yeah.
Always thinking that somebody was coming for me, or somebody was
okay.
gonna come for me at some point.
Okay.
Right? So I had to be ready for that. If I wasn't ready for that, then I'm gonna lose. And then if I lose, then
And you're always ready.
and I'm always ready.
Yeah.
So and the thing is this, and it goes back to what my mentality was. How am I gonna lose? I'm gonna lose if I don't execute what I just did, because I think what I'm doing is dope, right? I think these moves are hard, like some of the hardest moves that I've ever done.
Right.
If this dude beats those moves, I can't be mad at myself. I just executed this.
Yeah. That's
All I could do is go back, look at what I did, and make it harder.
Right. Right.
And that's why all my moves kept evolving. I think it was Donovan one time. I was talking to him, when I started coming back into Breakin, one of the things he told me was, he was like, bro, I felt like you had a move, like a new move every time I saw you.
That's crazy.
And in reality, I did, but I didn't. Because all I was doing was heightening what I did, because I didn't want somebody mimicking what I can do. You know what I mean? So I was preparing myself to be beat. You know? And if I didn't prepare myself to be beat, I'm going to lose.
That's true.
You know?
Crazy. That's
You
dope.
played add-on basically with every move
With everything that I had.
before every jam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every single move
That's
I
dope.
had, I was constantly playing add-on.
Right.
That's how I started.
smart,
Yeah, that's how
yeah.
we practiced. Like we grew up creating. That's it.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, so it was just like another move after another move after. That's actually how I break.
And cause
Try to create more.
And that's how you should. Because when I first saw you, I thought you were dope as fuck. I was just like, yo, this dude's raw. His footwork is sick. What am I going to do if he battles me?
Right.
First thing in my mind, I'm throwing power at you. Because I seen you do power. And I'm like, he's going to try and throw power at me. He's going to try and match what I'm doing.
Right.
He's going to get shook. But that's that inexperience as well. Somebody that is...
That's that bait that you're talking
That's the
about.
bait. That's the bait.
That's dope.
I
That's
literally
dope.
just baited
That's
you,
just
right?
dope.
I just threw power at you. Now guess what you're going to do? You're going to do something. You're going to throw a windmill or a windmill head spin or try to do something like that. And you don't practice power. So there's a good chance that you're going to maybe scrape your foot or something. And now I just messed your whole setup. Now I just baited you to play to what I'm doing. Now you're behind. Now it's 1-0.
Yep. I was
You know
just
what I
going
mean?
to say.
Now it's 1-0. Now all I got to do is come out and I could do my cleanest set.
You think when people wait to battle, you should better like go out first?
I always hated that.
I hate
wouldn't say
waiting.
so.
I
I wouldn't say
hate
so.
waiting.
I
Fill it
wouldn't say
out.
so. I wouldn't say
fill
so.
it.
It just depends on what your strategy is.
Yeah,
like,
fill
do
it.
you think you can beat them? You know what I mean?
I
Like,
think I could beat anybody that's in front of me.
That's a great concept. Like a great like mentality. Because I had that mentality at one
That's
point.
my mentality.
At one point, I had that mentality. I felt like there was nobody in my era. Like at one point, I felt like there was nobody in the Bay. Hadn't really tested LA too much. I went to LA a few times, but I didn't really do like recon like how I was doing in the Bay. So I didn't know how these people were. I didn't know who the underground hitters were. I didn't know none of that, right? But in the Bay Area, there was at one point I felt like I was ready to call anybody out. I didn't care who it was. You know what I mean?
dope.
And one of the battles, I've explained this to you guys off air, was one of the battles that I wanted was Moy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
boy.
it wasn't because I didn't like Moy. It wasn't because I thought he was whack. It was because this dude was raw. And all the stuff that I've been practicing, the structure, the branching off, the doing this, I wanted to test to see if I could pull it off against someone on that caliber. Right? Because I've already pulled it off on all these local jams.
Right.
Let me see if I don't get shook against somebody like that.
Right.
Because this dude's one of the top guys.
Yeah.
So if I
During
can
that
do
time.
this, that iron just sharpened iron.
Right.
I'm coming for you at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
now
like, I'm at your level now.
Yeah, now I'm at your level. Now people know who I am.
Right.
Now people know who I am because I gave you a run. Even if I lose,
Right.
I gave you that run.
Right.
Even if it's 2 moves, because I think that's what's missing with a lot of B-boys. They don't understand all you need is 1 set to start.
Yeah.
You only need 1 set. And when that set is ready, you throw it at the right person. Right?
You'll make a name for
I
yourself.
will tell you that's how you make a name for yourself.
Yeah.
I heard the talk you did with Day Day and stuff like that. This is officially the way you make a name for yourself.
Especially now with social media.
Yeah. I had 1 move that I knew would make a name, and it was the forearm air flare elbow spin. I knew that move in particular, when executed right at the right person,
Right.
people were going to start cheering for me. Right? And it happened one time
That's dope.
at which was it? It was Palo Alto, and I threw it at Robzilla because he just so happened to show up. So I was just like, I have to throw it at this guy. Barely pulled it off. I didn't execute it the way I wanted to, but I heard woo, like one of those, right? Like the little woos, right? So I heard that. What I would do is I would go back and watch footage, and I wouldn't look at judges. I wouldn't look at him. I would look at the crowd. So I wanted to see how many people were like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
I see what he was about to do.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, well, if like a quarter of this crowd just like kind of got excited, when I hit this, everyone's going to go crazy.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. Out for Fame, San Francisco, when I threw it at Renegades, I spun a whole revolution.
That's
Windmilled, haloed. I was on top of a stage and I still heard everybody.
That's crazy.
Right? At that point, I hit the chair freeze and I was just like, I'm done here. I don't got to do nothing else.
Right.
Because now we're playing the momentum game.
Yeah.
Because the one that was going to be coming for it was who? Rich from when he was in Renegade, the Asian dude Rich. that he had air flares and stuff, right?
Oh,
Okay, yeah,
Boomerang dude.
Boomerang
yeah.
guy, right? He
That
was
dude's
raw
tight.
too.
Yeah,
He was
he's
raw too.
tight.
But the thing was, that was a quick hit.
Yeah.
That was a quick hit, so you better come steal that blow up, because if you don't steal it, now the momentum's with us,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I had just took the momentum from somebody else, so now we're playing that game, right? And that's how DSD1 battled as well. We played the momentum game, where it was just like, if you're battling somebody and you hear from back there like, oh damn, we're hella cheering for them, you're starting to get nervous because now you got to get the crowd back.
Right.
You're not thinking of the judges no more. You're not thinking of the top rocks and stuff like that. You're starting to get shook because the crowd loves us.
Right.
You know?
So I got a question. Do you have any ambitions now to like get back into it? Because the way you're talking is getting me fucking hyped. I might have to go battle a little bit after this.
No,
Call them
I
out.
don't think I have that fire to battle somebody anymore. I really don't like care to be like calling people out and stuff like that. I would much rather coach somebody.
I was
Oh,
just
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say.
You know what I mean? I would much rather help like a young B-boy be like, yo, dude, like, I really want to run this scene. You want to run it? Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll show you exactly what you want to do. You know what I mean? Derek, for example, right? Let's talk about that. Derek shows up to my house, right? I can't remember how he showed up. I think somebody brought him over. He comes over to the house. We start training. He starts seeing things like the way I train. I start helping him with moves. Hey, bro, you should do this. Hey, you should do that. I don't know what happened. For some reason, the brothers did not like this dude. I don't know why. From my understanding, I wasn't at these jams. They're calling him Biter. They're saying, you break like chalk. No shit. I'm training this dude. I'm helping him with his moves. Of course he's going to look like me.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? One of the best things I ever heard from Derek, and this is when I was like, your creativity is open. Like, you got this now. Was he said, I did a head spin or a head slide, or I did a head slide and hit an elbow freeze, right? I did that at Return of the B-Boy against Machine and Marcus, right? I did that on beat, crowd went crazy, right? I slid on my head, hit the elbow freeze. I'm battling Evade in San Jose. Evade goes like this to the elbow freeze, right? I went, nope. I've been practicing forearm lift up. I could throw forearm lift up out of anything at that point, right? I hit elbow to hand. Okay? Didn't expect that. Derek tells me, he said, yo, check out this move. Jumps to his hand, lands on his elbow.
I've seen that. Yeah.
I said, how'd you get that? He said, I was actually rewinding your battle and I saw you do it. And I was like, you know, I was like, that's flipping a move. You literally just flip my move.
Right.
Like, that's what you do.
Yeah, he used to do that.
Yeah, and that's what you do. And everyone started saying he bit Bert and this, that, and the other. Bro, he didn't bite that dude.
No.
He didn't bite that guy. He literally showed me how he did it.
Right.
And then I just saw like everything that he was doing, he just started getting creative. He learned the power moves. He that was like a foundation. He was learning air flares, learned the combos, learned all that, and then he just started branching off. And then when he got into flex, which that was one of the reasons why I stopped talking to him for a long time. Because anybody who associated with flex, I didn't mess with them. Right? And that was
the rule.
And that was the same thing that happened with the brothers, because I just didn't respect how Abe tried to shut me.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, when Abe tried to push me off, I just did not like anybody that associated with him. Now, it wasn't that I didn't like these people personally. Right? It was just I just don't associate with people that associate with this guy. Right? So when that started happening, I just removed myself from all of them.
Right. I remember that. Yep.
And then that's how the Fallen Kings thing happened, where I found out that Derek and them ain't with Abe. I'm at a point now where I'm just like, man, I kind of want to like break. I feel like something's missing. Derek was the first one to hit me. Hey, bro, come on.
I
come
remember that too.
And I was just like, you know what? I was like, you know what, bro? Like, you're a real dude. Like, I respect that.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, we can go away for a minute. I was on some dumb shit. We're back.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was the same thing with Rich. Me and Rich had a falling out for a while because he was in flex.
Yeah.
You know, we had a little beef that happened. And then look at us now. We branched away, ended up back on GSB. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
There's a lot of stories that transpired like around that time. And with Rich, mine and his relationship was so much closer because we went to the same high school.
Right.
We went to the same high school and then we branched away from each other and came back.
That's
You know what I
crazy.
mean?
Full circle.
But that's why, like I said, like the Derek situation was very, very, very interesting because I didn't understand why so many people was hating on this dude, saying that he was dancing like me when I'm the one teaching him.
Yeah, that's the funny part is that I don't understand why the brothers would be hating on Derek when he didn't even do anything wrong. It's like
I don't know.
Like, did he say something? I don't feel like it's any of that. I just feel like you taught him, right?
Yeah. I
so-
taught him a lot. I didn't teach him everything.
But you were like
I taught him a lot.
you were like paving the way for him to how to get to a certain level of breaking.
Yeah.
You know, which is important. And then all of a sudden you get all this backlash from someone of the outside or within the your own crew that's just like, no, we just don't like him.
Yeah.
So I understand how Derek feels, you know.
Well, yeah, I think also maybe from this perspective is they established this crew and it was hitting hard, and now there's this newcomer here. Maybe they're like, we don't want to roll with this newcomer. I mean, I don't know. I'm not
Could have
to.
been.
It could be something like that. 'Cause-
Possibly. But at the same time, that was when Paul and them were trying to get Sammy in the crew. Exodus.
Oh, Sammy.
Oh, yeah,
Exodus
okay.
and Xbox.
Yeah, him and Xbox. We battled them at a Macy's. Yeah,
That's
to get him
crazy.
in the crew. We battled him at a Macy's.
I remember that.
And I was like, I thought we were just coming here to session. And then next thing I know, I see.
I was just getting some jeans, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, bro.
To battle.
I'm trying to see what the shirts are like out here. You know what I mean? But nah, he's like, so Sammy and Xbox are on the other side and we're battling them. And I'm like, bro, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, they're trying to get down. I was like, okay, like, why is this happening? Because the thing was to me, I don't think you have to battle to get in a crew. I don't think so. I don't think you should have to.
So respecting.
If you're my boy, if you got me, I got you.
Yeah.
You're with me, bro. Like, we're a crew. Period.
Right.
Like, all that battle stuff, bro, we can do that later. We can go battle other people.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna help you get better, but at the same time, like, to me, I don't do it. I just wouldn't do it.
I've always had this thing against like people joining a crew that they weren't part of the establishment of, because they're not on the same mentality. I mean, maybe they are, but they weren't there for the forming of it. And so it's hard for me to say, oh yeah, now just because this group of people, like let's say half the crew is like, yeah, we want this guy down, and the other half, I don't know, we'll see. I don't understand why that perspective of those guys would overrule the guys that are kind of like, I don't know. You know what I mean? They weren't there for the forming of it. It's not that they can't be homies and like battle together or whatever. It just doesn't make sense to be in that crew. So, like when people join like Style Elements, for instance, if you're not Crumbs, if you're not Remind, if you're not Quality, if you're not Po One, like it's weird to me that you're in that crew then.
But
No disrespect to the people that are,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like you're not adding to that legacy of that crew, and you're kind of not adding to your own legacy.
But would you expect that name to die right there?
I was just gonna say, yeah.
Well,
because
I mean, it's a hard, it's you're kind of in a hard point because you don't want the crew to die.
Right.
And definitely, as people get older, it's probably gonna die. So I do see that point, but I just don't understand like how a B-boy would want to join that crew and not build their own legacy.
So
But sometimes there's kids that look up to that crew. Well, I don't know.
I mean, I look up
was
to
brought up
Style
different.
Elements.
I was
look
brought
up
up
to Style
different.
Elements, but I would
So-
never join their crew.
so
I look up to Rock Force. I look up to Rock Steady. I would never join those crews.
I would say this. So there's a couple reasons. One, opportunity, right?
For sure, the
One,
opportunity. Yeah.
Right? Two is like a lot of these B-boys, like they see their idols and they want to be with them, not beat them. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
They want to see what it's like being on the side of somebody that they just look over to the left and be like, damn, I used to look up at this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They love
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
Where
I guess I can understand that.
my situation, so like I have a lot of crazy like things that happen, right? So like when I first went to Alpha Fame, right? I entered me, Eric Jackson, OJ, who's my boy Epic. This dude was in Renegades too. You've seen him on Freestyle Session 6, I think it was, where Benny was on. Was it 6?
Oh, okay.
You know which one I'm talking about?
California.
With California?
Oh, California.
Yeah, so
Six.
I think it was that one. So he entered with Renegades. So if you see preliminary battles, he's in there. Big dude, right? His air flares, hands down the best, and the first person I ever seen do an inverted one-handed air flare. First one I ever seen do that.
Damn.
I saw like Pablo do the real one-handed air flare, but actually let me say he was the first one to do the inverted in our area.
Right.
He wasn't the first one. Pablo was knocking out air flares in all those like combinations.
Right.
Eric Jackson was one in our area, right?
Right.
So we enter there, and it's we entered as stick figures. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
So we entered as them, and Marlon I think was at that Out for Fame, right? From Havoc Coro. I'm a fanboy at that point. I'm just like, you're so dope, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know he was from Havoc Coro. I just knew this was some out-of-towner dude from Texas. I was just like, dope, dude, you are dope, blah, blah, blah. This is tight, blah, blah. Next time I saw him, dude didn't know me, right? Understandable now when I think about it, but I'm just like, damn, I thought I was cool with this dude. So now I'm like standoffish when it comes to meeting people, right? Then we fast forward to when we start DSD1, right? Now I'm battling Charles. Charles is coming for me. He's talking all this mess, saying I'm whack, doing all this stuff. Now I'm like, okay, now I'm giving these guys a run. Now I'm a threat.
Right.
All right? So now that I'm a threat, I don't want to be in any big crew.
Yeah.
Now I'm coming for the big crews because now I've already shown that I can hang at least to a tiebreaker, right? Because there was times in my career where it was like, I'd pray that I just made it out of prelims.
Right.
Please just let me make it out of prelims, dude.
Yeah.
Like, damn,
moment.
I just want to get into the battles, right?
Right.
And then I make it out of prelims at like a Mighty Four, and I lose first round of Kareem. And Kareem ended up winning the whole thing, right? So I lost to the person who won. Still not bad.
Right.
The only thing with Kareem, though, is he's the only person that I have not returned that loss. He was the only one.
Interesting.
And I respect that dude so much because out of all the B-boys that I see that have been breaking from my generation, his style has not changed.
Right.
He's better, he's stronger, more explosive, but all his stuff is very similar to what he used to do. It revolves around that same structure.
That power.
And I cannot be mad at that.
Right.
I'm like, you are legit one of like my top B-boys. And somebody can say like, oh, this dude's not ranked top 5, not top. I don't care about top 5. This dude has been consistent as Roxrite. Roxrite's the other one. Right. That's one of my top ones. Because mainly the only people that I really look up to, like as far as like B-boys, is like Bay Area guys. And it's not because like it's like a hometown thing. These are the only guys I really saw. These are the only guys that I went against. You know what I mean? And those are the people that I respect. You know, but there are B-boys that I look at to this day that I'm just like in awe when I see him, where I'm just like, yo, this dude is raw.
Yeah.
I could watch his clips all day. Ziku is one of them.
Yeah.
I could watch that dude just kill it.
That kid is tight.
Nasty.
He is nasty.
Yeah, he's
And
nasty.
he's another one where I'm like, this dude has a formula.
Yeah.
He has and that's what I was talking about earlier. I see certain B-boys that have that formula. He's one of them.
He actually reminds me of you because when he came on, he entered, I think it was Red Bull for Florida. He was like a replacement or whatever.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a replacement, but yeah, he just went on. No one knew who he was. He was a kid, you know what I mean? And he was making a name for himself, but all he had was like crazy ass power moves.
Yeah.
And then like some footwork here and there, but wasn't the greatest.
Yeah.
And then after that, this dude just traveled around like the U.S., touring with Pitbull and everything. I even saw him in Wisconsin, bro. Just a random small farm town event, bro. And he popped up and he was like, yo, I'm about to battle. And literally, it was on a basketball court on linoleum. And he just killed it. And he's just like, won. And then later,
That's what's up.
he's sponsored by Monster and doing big boy things. I'm like, damn.
Killing it.
Yeah,
But that's what I
putting in
mean.
work.
Like, he's one of those ones I could just watch, bro, because I'm just like, yo, you got the formula.
Yeah,
It's like, you got the
exactly.
formula, bro. You're hitting power.
Yeah.
You figured out footwork. You're knocking all this out.
But that eagerness of how to get better, like that formula, and then also that desire to like, yo, you're dope, I'm coming after you.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
super confident. I saw him at Freestyle Session, the kids battle, and the first thing I saw him walk, he was telling Cross, I'm gonna win that boombox.
Nice.
See?
Like that.
Nice.
He had that mentality, and he did
Nice.
win. He won the kids battle.
There was one point I remember that I would say what's up to people like Iron Monkey and random people, and I'd be like, what's up, bro? You entering? He's like, yeah, I'm entering. I'm like, I'll see you in the finals. And I would always say that.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm messing with him, but at the same time, I'm thinking like, yo, I'm gonna get there.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to tell myself when I first get there that I might lose. I'm telling you, hey, I'm showing up in the finals. Y'all better be ready because I've been training. Confidence. You know what I mean? It's like you got to be ready for that.
Right.
You know, and I think like I go, and we can go back to like what I was saying about training. Structure is missing. Okay. People blame YouTube, right?
Always.
YouTube ruined breakdancing.
Always.
Did it? It made your glossary.
It.
It made your glossary bigger, right?
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Nobody knows what to train first.
Right.
They're looking at all these moves, and they're like,
I agree.
Wait, he's doing this. He's doing this. He's doing this. I need to learn all of this. No, you don't. Start from the bottom. Pick
Fundamentals.
something. Fundamentals. Follow this. Learn this. Learn this. Learn this. Learn this.
Right.
And that goes back to what you said. Somebody can mimic a set, right? They haven't learned how to get in and out of things. They haven't learned how to create off of that thing, right?
Right.
You can do the same move as somebody. Doesn't mean you bid it.
Right.
Not if your formula is the same. And even if they do say now, no one even calls anyone biters.
That's crazy.
Now no one can
Back
even
then
do
used to get
flares.
beat up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bro.
Big
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I actually
Vietnam.
fought some dude because he said I was a biter, and I said hell no, and we battled, and I fought outside.
Dude, and you know what? In that era, that was happening a lot. I remember Vietnam got into a fight at Mighty 4. I remember Ruin got into a fight at Freestyle Session.
Oh yeah.
I remember Poison and Kareem. Poison didn't punch him. It was Poison's cousin that punched Kareem. But that fight popped off. But that was happening. But think about why. Like, you talk to people and they're like, oh, fighting is stupid. It shouldn't. That stuff shouldn't go down. And it shouldn't. Right? But let's think about why you're fighting. I just told you how long my practices were, right? I have 8-hour practices, 10-hour practices, 16 hours. I'm creating. You think I'm just going to let you come over here and take it?
Yeah.
I worked for this.
Right.
You just saw me do it and mimicked it.
You saw what happened at that jam not that long ago? You called me a biter. I was gonna go
Oh,
off.
that's the guy you fought?
No. This is like
Yeah,
is
no,
back
I
in
mean, I remember that you were
2005.
hot. I was like, oh shit.
I was about to. Yeah, I got.
No, I mean, dude, I totally understand.
But I'm
fighting
older
over-
now, so
over
my mentality
biting,
is way
dude.
different.
Yeah.
I don't think you should,
I don't think you should either.
but
You should
I mean,
definitely
when
settle
people
it.
call me a biter, I'm mad, bro.
Oh, yeah.
And when I see someone biting my move, I'm even more mad.
But you know what? I don't get mad if someone calls me a biter because I know where it came from. And just like what I said is I know where it came from and you're not seeing what I see.
Uh-huh.
So I'm already one step ahead of you if you're seeing that I did somebody else's move. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
already, like, I'm going to win. I'm going to beat
No,
you.
you know what? I think it's more like people call people biters as
I'm
Nowadays-
so glad you said that.
yeah.
Nowadays-
I'm so glad you said
it's
that.
so annoying because I'm like, no, I didn't bite that. You're just saying that because
To
you
get in my head.
want these judges to think that so you can win this battle that you're losing.
Yeah.
That's
Or,
the one
or
you're-
you
I-
get in their head too, because like think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Some
And it
b-boys are
gets in
so
my head,
prideful
for sure.
Some b-boys are so prideful, right?
Yeah,
And then they're
it
like,
works.
"Hey,
Chink in your armor,
you're
bro.
you're
For
a
sure,
biter,
bro.
The chink
you
in
know?
your armor.
but it's because
You can't handle your composure. Then I'm joking.
No, but it's because I'm like you. I stay at practices creating this shit. I put my heart and soul into it. So when someone's like, "You're stealing this," I'm like, "Fuck no! You're trying to make me mad, and you did it."
How I
Now,
felt. That's how I
tell me
felt.
this. Now tell me this. It makes you mad, right?
Hell yeah!
And do you hit your move?
Nope.
Hell no!
I actually did hit
No,
my.
I mean,
I
do.
actually did
no,
hit my
a
move.
lot of times when I get mad, it makes me hit shit.
Because
but-
I mean, let's think about what we were talking about earlier. Like I said, like the only way you're gonna lose because what you're coming up with is just great, right? I think everybody that's a b-boy that is breaking alone, they're hands down creative.
Yeah.
For you to be able to do this, you're athletic and creative, right? The
hard.
only way you lose is if you don't execute, right?
Right.
You're gonna beat yourself.
Yep.
Somebody's calling you a biter. They're telling you you suck. They're throwing dick signs and doing all kinds of stuff like that, dumb stuff. They're getting in your head, right?
Hell yeah, they
So
are.
they're trying to get you to not execute. You know why? Because they know the next set that they're going to do, that they've been training it, and they're going to execute, right? So it works. You know
it
what
for
I mean?
sure works. I mean, I know what they're doing, and it still gets me.
But now imagine, now imagine if you knew at any given moment, right? Power of 3. You knew at any given moment, no matter how mad you are, no matter how sad you are, you know, tired, energized, whatever, you're going to hit that move, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they can call you whatever they want.
Yeah.
You can hit that move, look and smile at them and say, yeah, we'll beat it then.
Yep.
That's how I was at that battle. That's exactly how
All right,
I was.
we'll beat it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And then they come out. Now they're shook because now the eyes are on them. It's like now I gotta execute. You know, and I think that type of training and understanding comes with experience for one, but it also comes with structure. And I think that structure was established with me because when I was coming up, there wasn't a lot of resources for moves. There was only certain things that you saw. So all we did was drilled those. New move came out, run it. New move comes out, run it. New move, run it. You know what I'm saying? And you just kept growing from there. So if YouTube really didn't ruin it, it's just mainly like no one knows where to start. No one knows where to start.
There's too much data out
There's
there.
too
Yeah,
much.
way too much.
Way too much.
Yeah.
Right? So what are you going to do?
It's hard to find yourself too, in a sense, right? Because there's so much data now. Like the fundamentals of like how we grew up is like top rocks, footwork, power moves. If your era did that, right? Now it's like, okay, where's the fundamental? Where do I start? Like, do I do CC or do I do windmill tap? Is that my fundamental, or is it halo to headspin pickup, or is it 1990s? What is it?
So, and that's
See?
where
That's the
a
hard
coach,
part.
that's where a coach would
Exactly.
come in.
I was just gonna say.
People get so overwhelmed with things. It's like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
You're just so excited. Like, I want to learn everything, right?
Right.
A coach will put you on path. No, you need to learn this. You need to learn this.
Right.
Don't come back until you learn this, right?
Structure.
Once that structure is in place, why am I practicing this move? Why am I practicing this move? Because when we get to this move, you're going to be able to throw any of these moves in and out of that one.
You're setting yourself up.
You're stepping yourself up, right? You don't know power? You better learn it,
Right.
Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The moment you get baited to where you come up with a set where you throw a windmill, you're going to look like a beginner because your windmills don't look good. Your legs aren't straight. They're too close together. You look like this as you're turning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, these things are going to happen. But that's the structure of you need to learn certain movements first and branch off of that.
Right.
You know, that's that creative fundamental structure, you know? And people need to understand it.
Yeah.
Foundation is key, man. It really is.
And foundation isn't exactly one thing. Foundation ain't footwork. Foundation ain't
It's
power.
everything. It's everything.
Foundation is a certain number of moves.
I think foundation is understanding your body, dude.
That's definitely it.
That's one
Because
part of
That's
foundation.
definitely, that's definitely
but-
one
but
part.
Because if I understand my body, I can do any move.
Yeah.
You know what
No,
I mean?
but also
Well,
we were
it's,
just
aside
talking
from-
about
I
this
mean,
earlier, man.
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of moves that's going to take some training, but I can figure it out because I know my body. You know what I mean?
yeah, but also now that I'm at a level where I understand all that, but now I'm understanding music. That tripped me the hell out
I'm glad you said that.
because now I could dance to the music and do my moves. Back then I couldn't do that. Couldn't understand that. Now I finally understand it.
Music is very important.
What
That's
music?
hard, bro.
What music?
Just being you and the music, and that's it.
But what type of music?
Anything. I could dance to anything now.
So, like, let's say,
I could dance to like hip hop. I could dance to
because I'll
trance.
tell you something we used to do.
Mariachi.
Yeah, I
We used to
really
just
can.
we used to just throw on the radio sometimes when we
Yeah.
didn't want to hear breaks, right?
Hell yeah.
I didn't care how slow the song was. I practiced my same set, hitting not every single beat, but hitting that beat in that type of stack, right? Because whatever random beat they throw at me at a jam, I know I can still execute those on any type of beat, right? I'm not limiting myself.
Right.
A lot of times people just listen to breaks. No, listen to all music.
Yep.
Feel that.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Honestly, you can hear what next like beat is gonna hit.
Bro,
I was actually practicing a reggae
almost.
yesterday.
I was making at the last practice
We have
with
a
me and
little
him. We were just
thing
making
going
fun of this mix that someone was playing because the beat was the fucking same in the whole mix. Just boom,
I've heard
da,
those
boom,
before.
boom, da,
Yeah.
boom, da.
That
And
thing
it,
is
like the
that,
songs
man.
change, but I was
the
like,
same
the
tempo,
beat is the
yeah.
same. The beat is the same. The beat is the same. And then I kept saying, this is why you need to turn this shit off and play something else so that you understand actual music instead of
Exactly.
just this shit.
Yeah. One thing I learned about music is that when I got into house dance when I was living in the
Yeah.
Midwest,
That too, yeah.
bro,
House dance work.
like my top rock changed, but it changed in the way where it was like the up tempo of house dance, if that makes sense. So my top rocks actually became a little bit more like foot happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just like boom, ka, boom, boom, ka.
I mean,
It
the
was like,
rhythm is
boom,
so
ta,
different
ta.
in house
And then
music.
there's that instrument,
you
you
became
know.
happy feet.
Yeah, happy.
You know what helped me? I actually dance to slower music.
Yeah.
Slur?
That is slower.
No, okay.
And the reason it's harder, it's really hard to dance slow.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
you're so intricate on your movements
Take your time.
Yeah.
Exactly, and it makes you learn how
Try
to
doing
break it
stacks.
down.
Try to stack fast.
That's
Stack
hard.
fast, right into stacking slow. It's gonna be very hard.
Yep.
You know how many times I did like sets to the Mexican? I tried to hit beats on different parts of that song. You know what I mean? Hit the same set at different parts just to see which one looked the best. Because I knew when they threw that beat at a competition, I knew which section I'm gonna hit it at.
Damn.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
So-
like you need to understand things like that too, and that's also a part of like the recon of like a competition, right?
Right.
That's why I love competition because there's so much into it. It's not just like you show up, you do what you practiced,
Right.
hopefully the judge likes you. No, there's more to that. You have to know who's coming for you. You
Right.
have to know what they're going to do. You have to be ready for it. You need to understand who's going to be spinning what DJs are going to be doing what.
Who are the judges?
Or who are the judges?
Yeah.
We got a judge that loves only power. Okay,
Right.
cool. Well, I'm gonna throw power at this time. This. I had there was at one point where I wanted to come up with like a new move, right? Like I was explaining. I was flipping my own moves at every event. I knew in the beginning preliminary rounds, that's where my new stuff was gonna come out. Those were the moves that I was testing out to see if I can
fillers.
pull it out.
Yeah.
Right? Because usually those battles, like the intense ones with the hitters, are going to be in like the semis or the finals, right? So you test out those new moves there. Those ones that I have locked in, that I've already hit the power of 3, I'm hitting those, I flipped them and turned them into whatever they are. That's what is going to be getting shown because now I'm stacked, right? I'm ready. Now those people that you're battling in the finals, you hope that they face somebody that gave them a run in the beginning because they probably used 2 or 3 of their main solid sets just to get through that round. And now you got everything to go against them.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Smart.
that's what's dope about battling. You know what I mean?
Smart.
There's so many different strategies that you can use, and then when you throw routines in it, what's a wrap? I used to love routines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Routines are
I
tight.
can't. I just love the tricks.
I love them. I mean, I love routines.
I
I
love
love
them.
watching them. I love doing them.
I love watching them.
I love tricks, bro. I love like people throwing people in the
Bro,
air,
that's
doing
tight.
some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You saw it at GSB.
Fucking
I was
GSB.
like, bro, we need to throw somebody over
Yeah.
here.
I mean, we would, you know, GSB was so fun because it was like, let's just think of some wild ass trick and we would do it. And we're like, let's fucking throw someone over it now.
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
was just like,
It was
one up that
But
shit.
that was that creativity. That was
Hell
that
yeah.
evolution. So like what we were doing in those routines was literally, okay, we just did that. That looked good. Okay, how can we make it better? Okay, it looks better this way. How does this look? Nah, that didn't look as good as we thought. Let's add this, right? So like, I've been practicing tricks like that since I was a sophomore.
Right.
You know what I mean? Talent shows. We're doing routines with people. Me and Breakin had a bunch of little top rock routines and stuff like that. That push up to the feet routine,
Yeah.
I created that. Right? I created that in high school. That wasn't the brothers that created that. I created that. Because
Damn.
So funny that
it
they
started
Yeah, it's
that
so funny.
routine, and I will tell you what that routine started as. That routine started as the bench press routine.
Right.
yeah,
we
that's
called
what.
it.
Yeah, that's what.
That's what we initially called it because my boy David, he was bigger than all of us. When me and him did the routine, he just pressed me, and then I hit a freeze like this on his hands. He's on his back, right? It was Battle of the Bay in Palo Alto. We were in the finals, and it was a tiebreaker. I tell Bobby, I say, look, push, and I'm gonna jump onto your feet. He's like, let's do it. We tried it 2 times, did it in the battle, pulled it off, right?
That night.
That day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
We
Wow,
literally
that's
practiced
crazy.
it. We practiced it like 10 minutes before the battle.
Me and
That's
Sky won a
crazy.
jam once, and same shit happened. We were in the finals, and he's like, "Yo, let's throw this bench press real quick." And he's just like, "Here, all you gotta do, boom, just land on my feet." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Word, we got this shit."
And it eventually evolved to the brothers were the ones that were practicing it because they lived together, right?
So I'm a biter.
So well,
I'm a biter.
well,
You heard it here.
Now you lost one more vote.
yeah,
Down to 1 again.
here we go.
Don't bite.
Yeah, just
Don't bite.
be plant based.
Right.
So
Beyond meat.
beyond meat. So it evolved, right?
Yep.
So it evolved to them pushing up, and don't get me wrong, they execute the shit out of that routine.
Yeah,
they do.
absolutely.
Like,
Evolution. That was a
I will
cleanest
tell
I've
you
ever
right
seen.
now, people get shook when they see that routine. Period.
It's-
To this day, right? To
It's
this
a fucking
day,
crazy routine, dude.
It's crazy,
It really is.
and it's still being done. That's something that I initially started that creation in 10th grade, right?
Wow.
It's not
Dope, man.
saying that I'm the best at this. It's if you think of something, it can be bigger than what you think.
right.
But you got to believe in what it is and see it for what it is and what it can be, right? And that's where the creativity is going to be like really setting people free to understand like moves that I did back then are still being done today, right?
Right.
You just said you saw somebody doing this,
Yeah, there's a guy
right?
from New York. I forgot, or
Yeah, it was something. It
Yeah.
kind of started
No, it
looking
doesn't.
like
He
him.
does it exactly.
It's exactly the
Oh,
same.
is it really?
Yeah, he goes back and.
And-
Like that.
And when did I do that? 2001, 2002?
I don't know his name.
Almost 20 years ago. 2 decades. That move's still being ran.
Yeah.
That's not saying.
Learn some new moves.
Well, it's not a bad thing. It's just saying that the creativity level of the way that structure of where I was creating moves works. You know what I mean? It works. It opens up your mind of what can possibly be done, right? And it was just messing around. All my moves, I can tell you exactly where they came from. I can tell you exactly how I came up with them. You know, like the elbow spin, that came out because I messed up on a forearm air flare and got scared. I messed up and I just kept spinning.
You got stuck.
I got stuck and I just kept spinning on my elbow. And I was like, wait a second, like,
Good way to flop.
I was like, I think I could do something with that.
Right.
And then I just kept running it until I had it. Right? Shoulder spin. I was about to do an air flare, got scared, and I fell. When I fell, I landed on my shoulder and kept spinning. And I'm like,
fucking tight,
I'm
actually.
like, oh,
Yeah, the
shit.
cleanest
I'm
shoulder
like,
spin.
oh shit. I was
Yeah.
like, I need to do something with this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All these moves come from somewhere. Not saying I created them,
Right.
but these are how like I opened that door. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to create new things. You just have to expand on what you believe in.
Right.
Right? Once you can do that, bro, you're gonna come up with the craziest shit.
Yeah.
Period. Because then you just let your mind run.
Yeah. I find that like sometimes messing up in your breaking, it's actually kind of dope because
Absolutely.
because you're like, oh, what the fuck was that? I just fucked up, but the dog that felt so natural. Hey, let me run that back real quick.
Absolutely.
And then you do it, and you're like, yo, how's this look? You're like, yeah, that's dope, bro. Or
Absolutely.
like, hey, what can I do to add on that? And you're like, hey, you should try this. Like, ooh, like you guys just start building. That's
know-
one thing I love about like fucking up and then coming up with new
I mean, one of
moves.
the things I do is when I have like a new move and it's, you know, it's not quite something that I would throw yet, but I'm like, this is something, I would just start freestyling with the move. Just keep throwing rounds with it, just one after the other, and probably flopping out of it. But one of those times it's going to be like, oh, that was something.
Right.
Let
But-
me
yeah.
add on to that and keep going.
But honestly, why can't you do that in a jam?
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
If you got the finisher, if you got
Yeah.
like the climax of the set,
Uh-huh.
you should be able to do whatever you want into it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Have fun. Have fun. You know that you're not gonna fall. You know that you're gonna pull that off. You've done it like hundreds of times, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So just freestyle into it and then hit it.
Yep.
Done. Now you just got creative, right? Because no one saw that coming. You're having fun. You're dancing. You're feeling the music. You're making the crowd laugh. You're doing whatever the hell it is, and then you still execute. You stand up, and now they're shook.
Yeah.
Bam. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's that self-confidence of understanding that I can execute this,
Right.
and I can do whatever the hell I want to get to it. Right? You just gotta trust the process. You trust how you're training, and you got it. Period. And don't let people call you a biter and you get upset.
And then lose views.
And
I will
think,
get upset all
I
the
think
time.
I think I got upset at that time because exactly he's trying to get into my head. But he didn't.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
Afterwards,
wouldn't.
I told him what's up, but
Yeah.
I realized he was all quiet. He just didn't want to talk.
it
Yeah.
just makes you mad though. I mean,
Yeah, to me it does. I'm still on that.
I'm sure if I started calling you a biter, it would make you mad though.
Then, yes. Now,
Yeah.
no. But at the same
Damn.
time, I would get mad, but I wouldn't flop either.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the
I'd
key.
be like, oh, I bit that? Watch this.
That's the key
You know what
is
I
to
mean?
not
Like,
is to not let it get you shook.
Yeah, because I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, you're whack, you're this,
Right,
you're that.
right.
And try and like talk back. I'm going to be like, I'm going to beat you, but I'm going to blow you up. And then we're going to see how much you're still calling me about
Yeah,
it.
like man, I don't like talking shit in battles, but man, when someone says that, I just let it go. Like, I don't know. I've said some wild.
I can't say that I didn't used to do that when I was on my way out of breaking and I wasn't training and there was a lot more videos of me flopping. It was because I wasn't practicing. I wasn't on point. I wasn't none of that. And I was getting under people's skin because I thought there was a chance I was gonna flop. There's a chance I might not hit this. So I'm gonna talk mess to you. A lot of times it worked. A lot of times it didn't. You know what I mean? And that's why I know like what it would take now, right? Being that confident. Understanding that when I was younger, from like 15 to like 20 years old, I can hit anything at any point. And I didn't even drink, smoke, nothing then. I didn't do anything. I was pure. I was like, bro, I'm about training.
Right.
Let's go. You know what I mean? Shit. We had so much confidence and all we cared about was crowd pleasing, right? With DSD1 because we just wanted to like entertain. we lost at Out for Fame because we derailed from our like battle tactic, right? When we battled Massive Monkeys, right? That loss got me and Bobby flown to Chicago.
Oh wow.
And that's only because like we showed up and still like we did the things that we can do.
I mean, that was one of the hypest battles in the whole like event,
I look back at it and I'm like, we could have won that.
Yeah.
If we would have stuck to a different plan. And it was just a plan that was just, it seemed abish. You know what I mean? The way the plan was like, you're going to do this move, you're going to do this move, you're going to do this move. It's like, hold on, time out. We didn't get here doing that.
Yeah, you got to do what you always
It was structured.
do.
And that's why
Switched up the game plan.
Even though people like this, like the Little Aaron thing. Little Aaron was the hardest dude that day.
Little Aaron is
He
so
was the
dope.
hardest. Like I will tell you right now,
bro.
I thought Little Aaron would smoke me. Period. I never told him that. He's probably gonna see it if he watches this. I never told him that. Him, Khalid, rest in peace to Khalid too.
Khalid.
You know, that dude was raw, bro. I thought the Dookie necks were hard, bro. I thought I was like, these dudes will eat me.
Right.
And every time you see them, it's like something new. It was a trip.
Exactly. They were raw. All they did was train. They were sick. The head backflip. Bro, look how many. There was a B girl that just did it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And look at when Aaron did it. And he ain't online calling
And he
people
flipped
biters.
that. He flipped that.
He ain't got nobody on. He ain't online calling nobody a biter.
Damn, that's crazy. He's always
He
been a
doesn't care,
quiet
probably.
dude too, though.
Yeah. What's that?
Said he probably doesn't care.
He don't. And but the thing is like he's an innovator, bro.
Yeah.
Like he did
He's an
that.
artist.
He did that. And
True
I'm not
artist.
saying like, you know, he created all this, created that, created this. No, but that move, that's him.
Yeah.
That's him. I don't care
mean,
what anybody says.
Gives
I mean, I
props
think
to him.
anybody that would go, oh, he bit it. He
Yeah.
just goes like, here's footage of me doing it in like 98 or 99 or something, like 2000. Find something earlier. And just
Honestly,
leave it at that.
I would like I saw Day called out Crumbs online about the bite, and I'm just like,
When was this?
it was on, I think it was on like Mikey Ice's like Instagram or some shit
okay.
like that, right? And Day calls him out, and then I saw the interview, and he was just like, I don't care what's gonna happen. What, he's gonna battle me and beat me? I don't care. It's like that's the difference between us, bro.
Yeah.
I don't like losing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if I call like Crumbs a biter, and Crumbs is like, I'm gonna come for you. Well, one, I don't break right now. I don't break at all. It's gonna take a long time for me to get to that level where I'm gonna battle Crumbs. You know, I don't even think I was getting too close when I was in my prime. But I will say this. I want to see footage of Crumbs doing it before that Mighty Four when Poison and Kareem got in that fight. Show me footage of Crumbs doing a back head flip before that event. Because Crumbs was a judge and Little Aaron entered that competition and did head backflips in that comp.
Oh wow.
That's why I want to see that. And it's not saying Crumbs, you're a biter. It's not saying none of that. But give my man credit.
Right.
This dude worked for that move. That was him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was him.
I didn't
Everybody
even,
knew him for that movie.
I didn't even
Everyone
realize
knows
there
that.
was a thing between him and Crumbs.
It's not. There's not a thing about it. It's
Okay.
just
'Cause
like
Aaron
everyone
doesn't care,
It's
you know?
just Aaron don't care.
Yeah.
He does. He's like, yeah, like that was my move. Like I did.
I
Like
seen him
I
do
did
that into a 90.
Yeah, and
I didn't even know people disputed that. Like, because
It,
I was
it's
always
not a
like,
dispute. It's not a
Little
dispute.
Aaron always had that move.
It's
like,
not a dispute. It's just when the head backflip comes up, it goes to Crumbs.
Yep.
It
I
goes
guess
to
he's
Crumbs.
probably the most high profile that did
And he
it.
did it on a high level stage. He did
Yeah.
it against Benji.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah, that is
Can't
true.
knock him for it. He pulled it off.
Right.
You're athletic, bro. You did that. But my man did that, bro, and you were there.
Yeah.
I just and like
I've
I
seen
said,
it. I've seen it.
like
I seen
said,
Freakazoid do that and catch it without like, you know how he does that crazy.
that dude is wild.
That was
Those
crazy.
Freakazoid
and
is a
see,
wild
okay,
guy,
so
yeah.
that's funny. You bring a Freakazoid too. Okay, so
You guys had you had that big ass battle. I remember you guys battled them.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
crazy.
So at one point, we were gonna assemble a super crew, right? It was gonna be, I believe it was gonna be called Bermuda Triangle. I think it was, where it was.
That's crazy,
It was
dude.
us. It was Freak Show. I can't remember who the third crew was. There was a third crew involved, and it might have been Circus Runaways. I can't remember exactly who it was. Oh shit! It was Circus Runaways because we battled with Josh and Law.
Yeah,
Okay.
it
Yeah.
was Circus
So it was-
Runaways and Freak Show, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was Circus, Freak Show, and us.
I remember that.
That were gonna be Bermuda Triangle, and we were gonna. It was
Yeah.
basically a crew designed because Super Crew was coming to the Bay a lot, and people were just running through people, right? So we wanted to kind of counter that. Okay. At that time, I was already on my way out of the scene. I wasn't really practicing the way I was, but at the same time, I was like, yo, let's do this, right? So Paul and them, they ended up practicing with Freak Show and doing comps with Freak Show in SoCal, and I'm not there.
I remember that. Yeah.
I'm not there. I'm not battling with them, right?
Right.
They have
I remember
Freak
this.
Show do the push up to the feet.
Yep, I see that. And then they kick
So
them.
what does Freak Show do? They flip it. They
To the
start
shoulder,
flipping,
They twist it.
go into the shoulder. They
Yeah.
start flipping that routine.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Right?
remember that. Start rolling.
We kind of got a taste of our own medicine. Now we're calling them biters because they're doing our routine, but they did it with us. You know what I mean? So now it looks like they're biting. So when I see the footage, I'm just like,
I didn't know that was from there.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
so
they
shit,
battled you
dude.
guys and they do it on the
yeah.
battle.
They battled us.
Oh
they do it,
yeah,
right?
no, I mean I remember. I know the routine.
So
Yeah.
in my head, mind you, I've been out the game already like 2 years, 3 years. I come back and it's New Hope. I think it was, right?
Oh yeah.
It was New Hope that Breakin threw.
Yeah.
Freak Show's there.
Oh yeah.
They're like, yo, they bit the kick up to the feet. In my head, I don't know you're battling with these cats in LA, having them do the move. So I'm like, bro, you bit
shit.
my shit.
Oh.
Because I did that. I came
Yeah.
up with that. This
Yeah.
ain't you. So we get into a battle, right? So we start battling Freak Show. I see Giovanni. He starts fucking jumping to his elbow.
Yeah.
Doing all kinds of crazy shit, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm gonna see this fucking dude again. I got to come up with something for him.
Right.
And this is that move that I told you. I was training a move for somebody, and it was for Giovanni, for Freakazoid,
Dope.
right?
Yeah.
I pulled it off one time and never was able to do it again. I literally did flare, forearm air flare, elbow spin, hopped off the elbow spin and spun here.
Oh shit.
And I was literally down like this and did like one spin. It wasn't like I drilled it, but I was like, because if you look at how I do forearm air flare, elbow spin, right? My body's already twisted.
Yeah.
So with my body twisted here, all I had to do was just a quick little hop, and boom, now I'm here,
Right.
right? So I literally just pop, boom, and spun it, right?
Uh-huh.
Did it one time, was never able to do it again.
Damn.
And I was like, fuck. I was like, if only I was able to pull that off. But Power 3 never happened. I was not in the scene training the way I should have been. I probably could have eventually got it. I probably could have blew my shoulder out.
Right.
Who knows?
That move's crazy.
But the thing is, it never happened. You know what I'm saying? So that move, if somebody can do it, yo, that's yours. I'll tell you that right now. Because
That's
I did
dangerous.
it. I did it one time. And seeing the moves that B-boys are doing right now, somebody can do it.
This is probably a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
That's
Somebody can do
Amir.
it. I will
figuring it out.
I will tell you right now, somebody can do it.
Yeah.
I can guarantee that. I see dudes like Bumblebee doing that
Oh,
1.5
God.
to a 2,000.
Ooh,
I
I
see
know
that
who
little
could do
kid,
it.
what's his name?
Malish?
Malish or something.
That kid is crazy.
Going crazy
Yeah.
with Lotus air flares. Like these dudes are raw. Like they can
50,
pull this
90s
type of shit off.
I think Shiga Kicks could do that.
I don't know who that is.
This Japanese kid.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I have
Bro,
no idea who that is.
Shiga
Yeah,
Kicks
he's
is nasty,
crazy.
bro. He's
But the thing was
crazy.
the beef with Freak Show wasn't nothing where it was like I did not like them personally. I just did not like that they were biting, right? And in my head, I thought that they were biting our shit. Like I didn't think that y'all entering with these cats and letting them do our moves. Of course, they're gonna think it's okay to do it.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that's what gets you is when you start letting people do your stuff that's not in your crew. They're gonna start doing it.
Yeah.
And then now what's happening? Now it's washed. Now we got to figure something else out. We got to figure out a new move.
It's a foundation now.
Bench press is a foundational
Right?
move.
Apparently,
You heard it
yeah.
here.
You know
And you
what I
gotta
mean?
learn this in order for you to have routines.
You know what I mean? Apparently, but
Yeah.
but that's and like I said, and that also ties into the training aspect of
Yeah.
be prepared to lose.
Right.
You know what I mean? Be prepared that someone's gonna flip that move. Be prepared that someone's gonna do something with that
Yep.
pick up to the feet move.
Absolutely.
We need to make this harder. The
Spin.
moment you let a move marinate for too long, somebody's gonna beat
Someone's
it.
coming for it.
Someone's coming for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and there's
take
somebody
it.
that's watching footage. There's somebody that sees something that
It's
you don't.
Switzerland somewhere.
Something. Someone's on
Yeah.
YouTube,
Yep.
and they're gonna do it. You got to be ready for it. You got to be ready. No moves are safe no more.
On the offense
No
and the defense.
moves are safe.
So watch
I will
your
tell you
moves.
that.
Yep, I seen I
Watch
did my
your
move
moves.
and I
No
see
moves
somebody
are
already
safe.
else
Hide your
doing it.
moves. Hide your. You know what I'm saying?
Hide your moves.
Hide your moves.
Everything.
Hide your
Don't
wife.
bring your girl to the gym because
Yeah,
someone's gonna
exactly.
try and smoke you in front of her.
Hey, keep
I've
your,
seen that too many times.
They smoking everybody out here.
They show up with a
Yep.
girlfriend, get smoked. They don't have her
they
the
don't
next
go
jam.
home with them.
Oh, man.
They're like, and then you see this the
Hey, you
girl
don't
with
want
another
that.
dude.
Yeah, but so you're basically staying on the offense and on the defense at the same time,
Yeah.
almost. Yeah.
You have to because
Yeah.
no one's untouchable. You know, no one's untouchable. I was very easily beatable. Like I said, though, I was trying to stay at a point where I didn't show it. I didn't want that to happen. You know what I mean? And I remember, I just wish that the two main battles that I wish would have popped off was the Moy battle. I wish that would have happened when I was like legit training. And the other one was me and Sky was supposed to call out Monkey and EJ.
Ooh,
That was
that would be a
supposed-
crazy
That
battle.
would've been
That
nice.
was supposed to
That's a
happen
pretty good
too.
matchup too.
Damn.
That was supposed to happen, but it
That's
never
dope.
did. And Monkey's cool. Monkey's my dude, man.
Yeah,
I like
I like
him.
Shout out to Sean, man.
Yeah, he still says that he taught me forearm air flares. I mean, I'll let him have it now, but
Yeah.
like he's a good dude.
Nah, he-
Yeah,
he's
I
my
love
idol,
Sean,
bro.
And
man.
Precise actually brought him to my house, and he
That's
was
dope.
cool as shit.
Yeah, he's cool.
And we trained. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like solid dude. But it's like
He gave me
even
those shoes.
then-
Give me some Reeboks.
even then, I was still anticipating that he might beat me.
Yeah.
You know, he's raw. He's dope.
Oh, he could
I
beat
got-
you
I
now
got-
for sure.
Oh, absolutely. He's dope.
He's still
Like,
tight.
dope,
He's
yeah.
crazy,
but
man.
at the same time,
Yeah.
at that time,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I felt like I was ready. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
felt like I was ready for anybody.
for sure.
And I don't know why it didn't happen. I think there was some jam that we thought they were going to be at, and they weren't there, and then it just never happened. Yeah, it was just like one of those. I wish those could have happened. It would have been probably pretty memorable,
Yeah.
but
I think if you would have kept on breaking, like, because you were like, you had your moments where you like took a lot of breaks and then you came back.
well, the thing
Maybe
was,
if you were like consistent with it, you probably would have ran into them eventually.
yeah,
Because I saw you, the last time that I saw you was at All the Way Live.
oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
the last time I saw
That
you.
Oh
was-
yeah.
That was the
Shit,
first
that's
guys
the
time.
won
we
that.
That was
battle,
the
right?
first time I fallen
Hey,
down.
that was
Yeah.
dope, bro.
We trained for that comp. Like,
Yeah,
literally.
I remember
and
that
I was
battle.
just like,
Hella
yo,
hard.
like, I'm not gonna have a
Y'all
lot of
motherfuckers use
material.
my routine.
Which one? So you remember the situation we just talked about with Freak Show?
Hey, you
And
didn't, you didn't,
they call
you
us a
didn't
biter at
procreate,
that
man.
battle.
Hey,
If they call us a biter.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I know. No.
Because guess who
Hey,
brought
you-
that to the table?
You guys brought, no, because you guys stole my routine with me and Lo when we was doing air flares. That was my routine,
Which one?
bro.
Guess who brought it to the table?
No, I mean I don't even care.
Me? Yeah, that wasn't me.
Yeah,
that was. I'm not gonna point fingers, but it definitely wasn't solely my fault. But guess what?
I mean, who?
Hey, it was a foundational routine.
Either way,
At this point, it is.
thank you. We appreciate the W.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's go,
that
baby.
was my first one back.
Hey.
And I felt great.
And Chalk was like, "Yeah, I got this."
Yeah, we got a W. There we go.
We were hella like living it up, bro. Like,
No, you guys did good at that.
Now,
job.
honestly, like when I quit, it was
I
was hard to walk away from it because I definitely wasn't ready to walk away. But there, like the girl I was dating at the time, she had told me one time. She said, "What's gonna happen if you get hurt?" And I was like, "I'll be all right. I ain't gonna get hurt."
Yeah.
She's just like, "No, think about that. You don't have like a career.
right.
You don't have nothing. All you're doing right now is breakdancing."
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live in that fear of thinking that I'm not going to be okay. You know what I mean? So at that point, it was like, that's when I had to take that step away. But I kept coming back. Because
Yeah.
something's there where it's like, yo, you need to battle. Like, you need to go get this.
yeah.
You need to come get them. Like, you see what they're doing? Go get them. Go get them. You know what I mean? That hunger was still there, right?
Yeah.
And I knew I could still hit stuff, but I wasn't on point. You know, at that point, I was like the most vulnerable. I probably could have lost. Someone would have said, "You're whack, this," and I would have probably believed it. I'd been like, "Oh,
No, you
about to get
still
me.
had it in you. You still had that old school like kid conflict desire. Like,
But what I mean is, like, I would have probably believed it, and
Right.
I wouldn't have executed.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the
So
physical
then
part,
I
yeah.
would have lost. I wouldn't have
True.
showed it. I
Right.
wouldn't have showed you, like, oh man, I believe you. No, I'm gonna be like, yeah, right. Watch this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm out there.
but
you
you
know what I mean?
delivered. So guess what? You won.
I am whack.
But that's what I mean, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just
I feel
like that's what was very hard to walk away from.
Yeah.
And now it's like looking at where B-Boy's at, or B-Boying is at. It's like
It's crazy.
we got the Olympics coming up, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Realize how great that is?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Bro, my high school used to suspend us for breakdancing.
Yeah.
We were hated on, bro.
Yeah, we couldn't break in the hallways.
We were hated on. They didn't want us doing anything in the hallways.
Nope.
Couldn't practice after school. None of that. Suspending us. My brother had a boombox in his bag, playing stuff. Sent him home.
Yeah.
Hated on, right? Talent shows come up. Oh, you guys gonna come perform?
Yeah.
Oh, so you want us at the talent shows,
all of a sudden.
but you don't want us doing this in the halls.
Right.
You know what I mean? Hated on nonstop. That's what pushed me away from school.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I stopped going to school. You know, so I stopped going to school, and at that point, look at the ladder that I went through. Right? I'm getting hated on at school. I'm getting hated on by the crew that was there. I got hated on in jams. I got hated on for this. But at the same time, I still built a structure to not let none of that get in my way. To be like, you know what? I'm solid here. I'm solid here. This is what's going to happen.
Right.
What do you think made you and gave you that mentality to get there? Like where you're at right now.
I just didn't like losing. I don't like losing. I don't like feeling that it was my fault. You know what I mean? Because breakdancing, you don't lose because someone's better than you. You lost because you didn't execute.
Or the, yeah.
Well, the judges too.
Yeah.
Right? But the judges, that's just one person, two person, three people's opinion.
Right.
Right? When you lose a battle, right?
You know,
And you say, I won that shit, right? Nah, I was robbed. And you go back and you look at that footage. Is that the hardest set you've ever seen? If not, then you probably lost.
Yeah.
yo, that's dope.
You know what I'm saying? And that's you being your own critic. You know, because that's what I think is also missing. People are lying to themselves.
Yes.
Don't
They've
lie to
always
yourself,
been
bro.
doing it.
Don't lie to yourself.
I don't like the fact that certain individuals like say I would be judging.
Mm-hmm.
I heard this at the last event that I threw from someone in the Bay, and they were like, bro, we got robbed. I was like, did you really get robbed? Because we have some really qualified judges that like saw the whole entire thing, and I even saw it for myself. I was like, bro, I don't think you got robbed.
There was
I
times
think this is
that we
serious.
felt we got robbed.
Call 'em in the
but
ciphers.
here's the question though. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, exactly. Train harder to prove them wrong,
You got a couple options.
or
Yeah, train harder.
Right.
Prove them wrong.
yep.
Or call
Get
them
mad
out.
and
Call
cry.
them out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or call them out.
Well, how do you feel about calling out the judges? That's my thing. It's like,
It depends. Did that judge legitimately hate on you? Mm-hmm. Because if you know he doesn't like your crew,
right,
if you know that his boys are the ones that you're going against,
right.
and you put a smack on him, and you still lost, that's hate, bro. Like, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you why I beat your boys and I beat you. I'm gonna show you why, right? And it's not saying that, you know, that's bad etiquette because you know what you did.
Right.
You know you were hating on me, right?
Right.
Now, if you just call out some seasoned vets, like I saw that footage of the
Houston.
not Houston, the one Jamar and them, they just got called out, right? Beats and Pieces. They just got called out, I think, recently, right? It's like you don't call out a judge because you think you lost. You call out a judge because you got hated on, and it's a fact that you got hated on.
That actually
Right.
happened to me.
I would
once.
never call out a judge because of their opinion.
Yeah.
You thought I lost?
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm gonna go home, watch my footage,
Right.
and I'm gonna determine if I lost. Because, like I said, if I don't look at that footage and be like, yo, that's the hardest shit I ever did,
Right.
then that shit needs work, right? So, what are we doing here?
You know
I'm
what?
gonna waste my time battling.
You know what I would do? What I still do it. So saying I lost against someone, I'll call them in the ciphers. I don't care about the judges.
Yeah.
Let's go. You won? All right. Let's
Yeah.
go see if you won
Yeah.
again.
Or you could be like, hey, I'm just gonna give you a heads up. The next jam, get ready, because me and you are gonna battle.
Right.
And you feel it when you lose, bro.
Because-
like you do.
It's kind of a
You
it's
do
kind
feel
of
it.
shitty. It's kind of shitty calling out judges. They've been sitting there for hours.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody stretched.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Yup.
Like my thing is, okay, this has happened to me before in Michigan, right? I went out there, I judged an event at Michigan University of Michigan, and dude lost. His homeboy on the sideline was like upset because his homie lost, and it was clear. It was like a 2-1 vote, right? I voted, the other guy voted this way or a tie, I forget. But then his homie, once he's walking across the floor to get out of the way, and he was like saying some crap, like walking past us, and he just goes like this to each one of us that
fuck
voted
that
against
shit.
his homie. I said, what the fuck, bro? Like, are you serious?
hell
I'm
no.
doing my job and you come over here and disrespect me just
Yeah,
sauce me?
that's
So we end up battling. I was like, hey, bro, what?
The
I was like,
sauce.
hey, I got you. Watch when this 16 preliminaries round is over. Yo, I got you. And so we battled. Don't call someone out if you whack, bro. That's all I'm saying. It's like, especially the judges, right? And these dudes get toasted. I'm talking about toasted.
See, but now
So-
here's the thing though. What if you would have got hurt, right? And you're
And
not
I-
warmed up
yeah,
and all that, right?
I wasn't warmed up
There's a
too.
possibility you could have got hurt over somebody that's
Yes,
whack, right?
yes.
So unless you know that person hated on you,
right.
right? If there's multiple people voting the same way, well, it might be true. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But if it's a like straight up hate, yeah, call them out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I've judged events where two guys, like, this was before people are like showing their hands and shit. They're like voting in silence.
Yeah.
Right? Somehow someone found out that I voted against them, which I didn't care because I
Yeah.
did. And they came up to me and was just like, why'd you say I lost? So, there's two other judges, right?
Yeah.
I'm one vote.
Right.
So that means someone else said the same thing. So
Right.
you probably lost.
Right.
Well, what did I do wrong? Well, there's 32 crews here. How am I supposed to remember what you did?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's an irrelevant move.
Yeah.
If it's like you're trying to single one person out, it's like you can't do that. You know what I mean? Understand that this is just their opinion.
Right.
you just say, hey, I don't remember your set. Be more memorable.
But that's also a problem as
is-
No,
well.
you know what I do? I get them to the side and tell them, you have footage of it and I can help you. That's what I do.
See,
when they
yeah,
come
that's
up
nice
to
of
me.
you.
That's nice.
But
what I do.
That's a little too nice.
this is the thing as well,
I
though.
do.
This is, and that's great, and that's probably helping them become a better b-boy, and that's awesome. But this is just my opinion. Doesn't mean my opinion is in a Bible or in stone, bro. Like, it's just my opinion. They respect the way I like to see breakdancing. That's what they like love about me, right? That's why they hired me, right? Don't come up and tell me what do I need to work on, because now you're not breaking for yourself.
Right.
You're not finding that person that's trying to be creative. You're not looking at perfecting what you love to do. You know what I mean? Now you're trying to impress me. You're trying to impress one person out of a whole gym of people, right? You'll lose that every time. You'll lose that every time.
Yeah, that's why when you battle the cipher, you're battling him. You're not battling the judge no more.
Exactly. You ain't battling the judge. That's just their opinion, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah, get over it.
Right.
You lost. Get over it. It's all good. They thought you lost. Get over it. Now, if that judge says that his student that's been training for 8 months is in the finals and beats you, yeah, that's a problem. That's a hate. Now you're being, there's some favoritism going on.
Absolutely.
This person been breakdancing 8 months and you said he beat me. I've been doing this years. No, that's favoritism. Then at that point, it's like somebody's getting called out.
Yep.
Somebody's having a talk. Maybe even the promoter needs to look at this dude and be like, bro, you're not reputable no more. Like, you should not be judging if this is what's going to make it to the final. Right? And I think standards need to be held up on a promoting level and on a b-boy level as well. If you felt like you beat that person that you battled, go battle him again.
Exactly.
That person's warmed up.
Yeah.
You guys just went rounds.
Yeah,
Battle
exactly.
them again
Forgetting the
and be
judges.
like, now I did beat you,
Right.
and walk off.
Right.
Exactly.
Because you gave up.
Right? Yeah, you gave up now, right?
Yep.
You're not battling the judges. You're battling the person that you're battling.
And then the better part is if they lose the next round, you really won. Because now they're not going to win.
Sabotage the battle.
Because now they're not going to win the
Because they're
jam.
hella tired now.
Guys,
That's messed up, bro.
hell yeah.
Crazy.
Now there's no more like, I lost to the winners.
Yeah,
Fucking
nah, man, get
sabotage
them out
the
of there.
jam.
Like, sorry, bro. Now you really lost. Now, if I lost, now you're losing.
I'm taking you down with me.
This just turned into the Titanic, bro. We're all going down. We're all going down.
The whole
the
shit
Titanic.
is done. Get hit by iceberg.
Oh, if you
That's
were a
hella
savage,
funny,
you
bro.
battle everybody that's still on the jam, just so all the battles are fucking whack after
Everybody.
that.
What are you looking at? Come out here, you too.
That's hella funny,
Oh, I
bro.
love it, dude.
Yeah.
Shit. What time are we at?
Ooh.
220. Shit.
Oh, this is a
7
good
o'clock.
conversation, though.
Yeah, you got a lot.
I think this type of conversation needs to be had though.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say right now, especially with Sacramento, hands down is the reason DSD1 was who they were. The amount of jams that popped off in Sac was all because of Flex. As much as we were rivals with Flex,
Right.
They were the one throwing the jams. Mm-hmm. They were the ones, you know, like we were the ones showing up.
Right.
That exhibition battle, there was nobody there.
Oh shit!
You showed that was your first jam.
Yeah, one of the first. Yeah.
One of the first jams.
Yeah.
Nobody was there, bro.
That's crazy.
And it was an exhibition against DSD1 and Flex Flav.
Wow.
Right? And it was we would show up. We heard about, hey, there's a jam. It's in Sac. Let's go. My exhibition battle with Ben, that was because of Abe.
Oh.
That was at Floor Tactics.
Ben Stack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh shit, I forgot about
That was
that.
at Floor Tactics.
Floor Tactics.
That was the first jam I ever went to, actually.
I left a show in San Francisco. Earlier that day. My brother was driving me. He was just like, we still going to that battle? I said, yeah, this dude was talking shit. Let's go. And he drove me straight there.
Oh, shit.
Right? So we get there. And mind you, we had just had like one of Abe's jams where we battled, and then Knuckleheads were there. And Ben was there, right? And we get to the event. Abe's there. He's like, yeah, come on. And he was being cool with me, right? Because I'm about to battle this dude, right? And I'm like, all right, I'm getting in my mode. I'm just like, I'm going to smoke this dude. Yeah. Ben comes up to me. He's like, you still want to do this? And I'm like,
what?
And he was entering the competition.
Oh, was that the one with the Mickey Mouse? He had that shirt.
Think so.
Yeah,
he might have
wearing
had
a lot
he
of
was.
Mickey
I
Mouse.
mean, I remember
Yeah.
the jam. It was.
I think it was.
It
it
was
was
that
him.
battle. I think.
So
I have my friend had the whole footage of that.
Little Rock.
Little Rock.
He was with Little Rock.
Yeah.
And Ronnie
Yeah.
was on his team.
Yep. So comes up to me and he says that. He's like, yo, what's up? He's like, we still gonna do this? And I was like, hell yeah, you were talking shit. And he's like, I heard you were talking shit. And I said,
So,
what?
It was Abe.
I said, what? He's like, yeah, he
He
was
did the
saying
same thing when
he
he
was
did to you.
saying that you were saying this. And I'm like, here, man. I'm like, I ain't even gonna go all out, bro. Let's go. Talk good. Let's get this money real quick.
Oh,
And,
nice.
and that battle was just like half-assed. I threw little moves to make it look like I wasn't really like trying to lose, but I didn't care if I won or lost that. Because I never had exhibition battles against people, if you really think about it.
Right.
There was nobody I needed to call out.
Right.
Anytime I entered a jam, I had a goal. I'm like, yo, I'm showing up to this jam. I don't need to call nobody out. I'm gonna do this. There was only those two battles that were supposed to be call out battles.
Right.
Right? So when that happened, I was in full like battle mode. I'm like, yo, let's get this full.
Yeah.
But when I found out it was on some shady shit like that, it's like, bro, you don't need to lie to me to get me to battle somebody. If somebody really don't like me or think that I'm whack, like, let's run it. You know what I mean? Like, I was that guy.
Right.
You know, but it was Abe being Abe.
Yeah.
And we still showed up, still handled business, got out of there. You know what I mean? And
paid.
And got paid. And Sacramento literally paved the way for DSD1 because a lot of our fan base was from Sac, Stockton. People thought I was from
Antioch.
Stockton.
Yeah, I thought you were from Stockton.
People
the whole
thought I
time.
was from Stockton. I was like,
I knew
hell
you
no,
were
I'm
from
not
the Bay.
Stockton. I'm like, what? No, I'm not from Stockton.
Antioch.
I was like, you guys are crazy.
Yeah.
And then we would go to like the other jams in like San Jose, and I think there was an interview that Natron did where he said one of Headhunter's rivals was DSD1. We weren't your rival. Like, honestly, it was like we had no beef with you. It was just we just happened to run into you in the finals all the time.
Right.
You know, in those Bay Area jams. I mean,
Right.
because at Out for Fame, I mean, our route, we battled the Sacramento crew. We battled Space Invaders, which was Val's
Space
crew.
Val's crew, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we battled Headhunters, and then we battled Renegades in the finals. We literally battled hitters because the Bay was just full of dudes that were just so
Hella
raw.
crews,
Bro,
yeah.
like these crews were so raw. X-Force, raw, bro.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
those dudes were sick. But we showed up. Evade was raw.
Hell yeah.
Evade was dope.
X-Force.
I used like
Evade is tight.
when he started changing up his style. When he started like dancing more and hitting
Yeah.
those air chairs and
Yeah,
lift-ups,
crazy
I'm like,
freezes.
oh, this dude's raw, but I gotta bring it to him.
Right.
I can't let him beat me, and I can't show him that I think he's tight.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Evade is.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
He was dope. He was
Yeah.
dope.
And he's
right?
hella cool,
He's
but when
hella
he
cool.
battles,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
Drift, dope.
Yeah,
he
drift.
said the funniest shit one time before we battled. He was like, hey man, you're my boy, but I gotta pay this rent, so I'm gonna talk hella shit and win this battle. And I just started dying laughing.
yeah.
Oh, that shit was so funny to me.
Yeah, those are and there was a bunch of people like that, right? There was a dope powerhead from I think he was from San Jose. His name was White Rice. I don't know if you guys if you've ever
That
seen
sounds
footage of
hella
him.
familiar.
do white rice.
White rice.
San Jose heads will know who he is. This cat can flare 90, flare, windmill, flare, like combos for days. And there were so many hidden gem power heads like that. Like Dope Sauce. Dope Sauce on Zero Gravity. That dude had dope power. He reminded me of Charles.
Yeah.
Right? Poison. Funny story with Poison. We had like an exhibition battle with Poison at a barbecue that nobody knew about. The dude who threw Return of the Bboy, that dude Junior Ernesto.
I think I seen the flyer for that.
He invited us to his house for a barbecue. And he was just like, yeah, why don't you guys come through? You know, I'm gonna have a barbecue. I'm like, oh yeah, dope. Slide through. We slid through. The only people that were there, us and Zero Gravity.
Oh shit.
We ended up in the garage and they're like, all right, let's go. They pulled the cameras out. We're like, oh shit, we're battling? Let's do it.
What the fuck?
We just battled
That's
them
crazy.
right there in the garage.
That's hella crazy, bro.
Yeah, there's like hidden
Damn.
gem stories like that.
That's
man.
tight.
Crazy.
Just like on the spot.
But
type
that
shit.
was the Bay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the Bay. And then when the
different, man.
recruiting
That's
started
real
happening,
battling.
when the
Super
recruiting started happening,
Yeah, it got.
Yeah, what do you think
NBA
about that?
shit.
I mean, in all honesty, you got to find your next generation.
That's true.
You don't want that, like, you don't want your name to die. You know what I mean? Rock Force, dope ass crew. That shit's gonna run forever. Renegades, dope crew. Dope name too. Gonna run forever. Right? You can't let those just fall. Right? You gotta find that next generation. You gotta find that next group of people. But don't feel you have to join them. Right? You don't have to join them.
Start your own squad.
Look at what we did
You
in
take them
in
out.
a span of, I started breaking in like 98. By 2002, I'm giving them a run.
Right.
Right? You got a short period of time where you could run it. You know, you could run the Bay. You could run a scene. I mean, I honestly didn't think people knew who I was. I didn't know anybody knew me, honestly. And then one day, Ruin, like, I see him at like freestyle session. He's like, "Oh, what's up, bro?" I'm like, "Damn, this fool knows me." Like, where'd you see me?
That's
at?
how footage goes around.
You know what I mean? That's that footage, right? I see the DSD1 video. Manson, oh, what's up? We got Sky Conflict. I'm like, whoa, this dude knows me? Rhythm Bugs?
Yeah, yeah.
How do you know me? I was like, bro, where have you seen me at? Code 1 is like, yo, Conflict, if I'm gonna do a shout out, you need to be in this video. I'm like, this motherfucker knows me too. I was like, how do these people know me? You know, but that was that tunnel vision. You know what I mean? I had tunnel vision of training. I wasn't looking like left or right, who's watching me. I'm like, yo, like, you gotta be in here. And I think that's where B-boys need to be. They need to stop trying to be noticed.
Right.
Start
Facts.
making people notice them.
Right.
That's what needs to happen.
You are.
Don't impress
absolutely
others,
correct.
impress
Stop
yourself.
trying to be noticed. Make other people notice you.
And another thing is, like, I feel like B-boys try to make a name for themselves quick because they try to get recruited by these higher name crews just to try to get gigs, probably, or show.
Could be.
You know, or like, hey, I'm in Rock Force, so I got the name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're going to travel. You're going to do this. You're going to do that.
Or like I'm like in front of like a camera, right, and a big audience, and I got Rock Force on my name now.
True.
So now that makes me stand out.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
And I would honestly go a step further and say Flex was almost like that.
Yeah.
Flex was
Yeah.
almost
getting to,
legendary.
yeah.
They were getting to that legendary
Getting to
point. And like I said, even though I'm not a fan of Abe because of that one initial little shit. See, that's the other thing. I hold grudges. So that little fucking thing that happened back when he just joined on with Kelly and Paul held a grudge for me to where
yeah.
I can't mess with you, right? Flex Slave could have been legendary,
Yeah,
right?
For
They were
sure.
on that route.
for sure.
Abe set you guys up for longevity.
For sure.
Somewhere he lost it. I don't know where because I was out of the scene by then,
Yeah.
right? But something happened there.
We grew too fast, and he couldn't manage it.
Well, the other thing too was like
was
you were in
greed.
Legendary Steps, right?
Inflex, yeah.
And Flex too.
Yeah, but you were in Legendary Steps first.
Yeah, I
right?
was in first.
So
yeah.
why did you leave Legendary Steps to go to Flex?
Good question. I've always asked myself.
You know what I mean?
Because for a long time I said, "Fuck this shit. Let's just break off and keep this crew because we're already fucking with everybody."
That's true.
Yeah, you guys had a
we
good crew.
almost did it, and then we're like, you know
So-
what? Like these are our homies though. Like because we were homies, so we're like, we
Hey.
might as well just be this crew.
I got
But-
friends that I smoke too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I mean exactly.
It's like,
I kind of wish I was more on that level. I wasn't thinking like that
Yeah.
back then though, because I was just like fucking some
young.
kid in
Yeah,
high
I
school.
think that's
whatever.
I think that's
don't
what it
know.
was.
but
We're
think,
young
but
and
think
naive.
about that though, right? We were young.
Yeah.
We were 15 years old. We were getting hated on all the time, every jam, right?
But Abe was the conductor of everything. That's the only thing.
And no,
It
I
was
get
so-
that.
yeah.
I completely get that. But think about it. Legendary Steps when I first came back and I saw Legendary Steps, it was like, oh, that's like Flex Flav's undercrew.
Pretty
That's
much.
exactly what I thought.
That's what it
In
was.
my head, I'm like, why are they an undercrew?
Yeah.
Why are you guys letting Flex stay the Sacramento crew? Why aren't you giving
Yeah.
Flex a run? Right?
That's exactly. I mean, and because it was like we were just young
Y'all were
kids.
good.
We didn't know what the fuck we were doing. To be honest,
y'all were solid.
I remember
So-
when I entered with Air Steps, it was me, Thief, and we entered with Air Step. We battled you guys.
Yeah.
That's what we're all like, damn, who are these dudes?
Yeah.
And they're all like, oh, they're the under Flex Flay.
Yeah, you see, and that's
That's what Air Steps.
And that's
did.
where the issue is, right? You're already assembling or establishing a crew that's getting prepared to join another crew, right? Be you. Give them a run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you know, honestly, what happened was, and here's another conspiracy. I think this was kind of set up by Abe, but
we needed Abe over here for the facts.
That dude was smart. He
No,
handled
'cause-
he handled a lot of shit. He
So
was a smart dude.
I mean, Outsiders crew, my old crew, and then Larry's old crew. We were all like the young high school crews out there, and we all ended up having some weird beef between us. Kind of broke up our crews,
And you
then
know
all of a
who?
sudden, hey, guess what? Me, Victor, Vince from our crew joined them. Chai, Freak Rock ends up joining Legendary. Freaking what's
Fatso.
fucking Fatso, ends up joining. And so we're like, it's kind of weird that all of our crews kind of broke up and then we all joined this crew.
I mean, it probably
'Cause
was
we-
planned.
No, it
Because
was planned.
before this,
Most likely planned.
before this, we were kind of like, yo, we're the guys that are gonna beat these guys.
Because you know how Abe got me in Legendary Steps?
I mean, it's
He used one of my homies that were in Legendary Steps that already had left, right? And it was at Donovan's jam. It wasn't a non. Well, he was in Non-Stop Bboys, right? But what jam he used to throw back then?
Donovan?
Yeah,
I forgot. I know what Jeffrey was
He did like what was
trying
it?
to remember.
Unbreakable, I think, or not Unbreakable.
No.
but it was one of those events, and then like
he did do
Sky.
Unbreakable or something.
Yeah.
Sky
There's
and
footage of
Day-Day.
it, too.
Sky and Day Day were there, and they had beef with one of the crew, with Abe, because of that whole situation, right? With DSD1 and Flex Flav. Well, I guess Sky and Day Day had battled one of my homies. I think it was you. And,
It was Rodney.
And it was
Wait,
Rodney.
They had a beef with Rodney.
It was
and then
Rodney.
me and Vince jumped in the
Jumped
battle,
in.
and Will did too, I think.
Yes, and so Abe, I was at the battle, and I was with another homie, and then they were like, Abe just walks out of nowhere, and he goes, "Yo, Shy, hey, you ain't gonna help out your homies?" So he did one of those,
Yep.
and then I go and obviously I'm like backing up my homies, right? Because I grew up breaking with them, right? So I start battling. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, all right, cool. Well, they're battling. I'm gonna help them out. And then later on, Abe comes up to me and says, "Hey, you want to join Legendary Steps?" And at this time, I was already like, "Nah, fuck Flex and fuck Legendary Steps," because for one, Les was he had beef with Abe, and Les was already Outsiders, but Les took off and he joined Legendary Steps after the fact that like he was like hating on Abe and everything else. I was like, bro, you broke out of the crew to join Legendary Steps.
Wow.
What a moron, right?
Wow.
And so I was like, all right, cool. You do that. I'm gonna just stick to Outsiders. I'm gonna just fuck with myself and then do my own thing because I was loyal.
But see, him and Freak Rock were already in.
Exactly.
And so it was
Yeah.
like, you were the only one.
I was
You
the
and like
only
Juan
one.
and Keo were like
Yep.
the only ones there. And those two were kind of like halfway out the
Yeah,
scene.
pretty
So it
much.
was like a crew of just you. So it was
Right.
like, your only choice at that point was to join us or fucking stop.
Tom and Cecil.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, hell no.
Yeah, no, I mean, like
bro.
exactly.
I'm like, I'm good.
But see, that's why I have this conspiracy mind about it, because I'm like, it's very
They broke us
confusing.
up
It's
for a
very,
reason.
it's very. Somebody benefited out of that.
Now-
of all of our crews breaking up, and then us going like, well, we might as well just join up because we're the only ones that want to do this still.
And honestly, if you think about like what I was talking about of like being at jams and watching prelims and stuff like that, y'all got scouted.
yeah. For
No, we did.
You
For
got
sure we
scouted.
did.
You know what I mean?
And Flex was running stuff,
It was
too,
smart, and they
so-
were running it. They were
Yeah.
running it. So anybody that was competition, they just
Oh yeah.
took them out. Anybody that was
Acquired.
possibly gonna be competition, they
Right.
could have just took them right out or have them join. Well, how's the saying go? Keep your enemies close, right?
Right.
That's what it is. That's why people start recruiting too, because it's just like, oh, you're the threat. Let me get you on the team.
Abe was fucking smart.
Let me get you. On the team. Let me get you on the team.
You know, I'm not trying to sound salty against him because, like, I think Abe taught me a lot.
Oh,
To be
absolutely.
honest. So,
absolutely.
and I think my time with Flex and my time with Legendary was great. You know, I look back going, oh yeah, we could have definitely had something more than what it ended up being, but I think just grew so much, and it just wasn't manageable, and there was a lot of egos going on, and it's just you can't deal with that at that scale.
Yeah, and especially being that young.
There was a lot. Yeah, exactly.
Being that young, you're
You don't
emotional. You're like getting angry and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's probably a lot going on.
And they were
But
getting people out of state, so you're all like, why they get them?
and honestly, like who knows like where DSD1 would have been if I would have joined Renegades. Right?
Yeah.
Who knows where that would have happened? What would have happened with that? Right? Would there be these memories? No. Like the reason like DSD1 clicked so good was because we were all on that same hungry mentality where it was just like, yo, we're gonna flip these moves.
Yep.
We're gonna bring it to everybody. We don't care who it is. Right? We developed that mentality. We weren't gonna be in another crew. We weren't a stepping stone crew. We were just like, nah, like this is us. We keep getting hated on. Let's go get them. And that's why we were who we were. You know what I mean? And that's also why we fucked with Dookie Necks. Dookie Necks battled us at a car show, and they were bringing it to us, right? That's why we initially started messing with them, right? Khalid was telling me, we beat y'all. I don't care what you say. I was like, all right, bro, you beat us. Like, all right, whatever. Yeah, but they were raw, dude, and they brought it. And it reminded us of us. And we're just like, yo, y'all are just like us. Like, me personally, I'm still cool with the good amount of them. You know? The Dookie Necks, like, those are my boys. Like, I'm tight with them. Right? Yeah. And I'm not tight with them like I'm like hanging out with them all the time, but I would never act like I didn't know them. Like I would say, like, if somebody said, you know him, I'm like, yeah, that's my boy. You know what I mean? Those were real dudes. Those were cool guys. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And how we talked to about Suburban Commandos too, man.
I love
crew
those
was
guys.
all right.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, I got so many stories when it comes to this shit, and I remember it like it's yesterday because this is shit that like really like I was in there, bro. Like this shit affected me in some way where it was just like making me better, making me angry, whatever it was. You know
what is this?
Just everything in Breakin. Like I remember all of this stuff, bro. Like I will never forget this because it was a big part of my life.
Yeah, it's a chunk of your
I
life.
literally lived this.
Yeah.
I used to tell people, I was like, I used to tell my students because I started teaching for a little bit. They were like saying, "Oh, this person like it's a B-boy for life." I was like, and I'd be like, bro, tell them if B-boy is their life, go show them that they ain't living. Go smoke them real quick. And they were just like, for real? I'm like, yeah, for real. Like, if you want this, don't ever think that someone's better than you. Like the way that you're gonna win is you need to perform the way you perform.
That's a dope mentality, man.
You know what I mean? You have to. Right. Have to. Don't ever think that someone's better than you. We're all practicing the same way.
Right.
Well, not the same way, but we're all practicing.
Yeah.
We're all trying to, get the same type of moves. It's just gonna be who executes. Can't do that, then you're gonna
Fully express themselves.
And that's why like I thought like Suburban Commandos, like what you were saying, like Suburban Commandos, raw. Their routines, oh bro, I thought their routines were killer. Bro.
Mad original.
Crazy.
They're so good.
Crazy.
And
I thought they were raw.
with the way they did routines, it was like they did it full out.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like half.
They were coming. They were
like,
coming for you.
Yeah.
And it literally came down to were we shook?
Right.
Nah, because we were ready for it. We knew that we were going to execute at any given time. And that's the key, I think. The key is not getting shook and executing your moves. Understanding that someone can beat you, be ready for it, and be ready to execute. You lose, then that's on you. That's not nobody else. That is on you.
Right.
And you got to keep that mentality. Suburban Commandos was raw. X-Force was raw. Headhunters, dope. Renegades, dope. Flex Flav, dope. Like, so many Rock Fours, everybody, bro. There's so many crews that came out of the Bay Area, and it doesn't mean that the Bay Area is gone. It's just somebody needs to teach this training. Somebody needs to understand, like, these kids don't know where to go. Like, there's YouTube and they don't know where to start. It's like you just gave somebody like $1 million and you're just like, get out there. You know what I mean? They won't know what to do. Right. You know what I mean? They're gonna just try and just start going.
I like the kids from the Bay that Art taught. Those kids,
they
have their own little crew.
I'm gonna have to show up to a couple jams. I kind of want to see like who's out there and whatnot. I reached out to like on a Bay Area Cyber Cypher. Like, yo, I'm ready to like train a couple people. Like, if I can take some people under my wing, and I made it very clear, it's not to get in Fallen Kings. It's not to do anything like that. It's you're gonna do your thing. I will mold you as much as I can. I'm gonna teach you how to create shit. And let's go give somebody a run. Go give Fallen Kings a run.
Right.
You know, they're battling. Go give them a run. Rock Force is battling. Go give them a run.
So,
You know what I mean? Like, why not? Be you. Like, people will want to watch you.
I feel like the next wave of crews will eventually be camps. That's what I think. Because if you think about crews, there's not enough crews being created, right? Especially back in the days where crews are like
fight camps. Is that what you're talking about?
just like breaking camps,
Like gyms.
Yeah,
Basically
gyms.
like
Okay.
So like
that academy that Grim and them are doing.
Yeah,
That's
Alchemy.
dope, by the way.
Alchemy.
Yeah, that's
Alchemy
pretty sick.
Academy. So like you create these academies, right? And then you just train all these B-boys. I mean, they can pay a monthly subscription or whatever, or just pay to train there, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
You just come out of there.
Because look at the Olympics, bro. Like, how is the Olympics going to be run?
Yeah.
it has to be structured like that.
Yeah.
So you know how I think the Olympics needs to be? It needs to be Battle of the Year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or IBE.
Bro, that's
or
exactly
IBE.
the way-
It needs to be
Or
Battle of the Year.
IBE. Like the IBE were machine battle.
It needs to be none of that individual, bro. It needs to be
needs
Think
to
about
be
the Olympics.
crews.
What is the Olympics? Rep your country, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Bring the best team to rep your country.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think there should be two, like the crews and then also the individuals.
I think there can eventually.
I mean-
but if you're trying to catch people that don't know anything about breakdancing, show them Battle of the Year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can't give.
They've
The
seen it.
whole point. They're not doing that because you can't give a whole crew medals.
Yeah, you can.
They do it for gymnasts.
They do. I mean, what's the shit
Well,
where
they
you're in the
represent and
fucking
then they
sleigh
do
and you
it
go down the
individually.
thing? That's a whole team that
yeah,
does that.
Oh, bobsled.
or the
bobsled.
fucking the fucking NBA team, or it's not NBA, but the
Yeah,
basketball.
you're right. You're
Like,
right. You're right. I
Basketball
take that
medals.
back. You're right. You're
Basketball
right.
get
You're right.
medals.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean though. Is there needs to be, in my personal opinion, because, and I'm thinking about it not on like a super deep b-boy type, vibe. I'm thinking about what captured me in breakdancing. Battle of the Year.
Yeah.
It was a showcase
Yep.
of what can your crew do. You're getting judged on musicality, moves, all that stuff, all the good stuff that it can be judged, right? You're not judging off of how you're doing compared to this person, right? And then they put the top 4 in a battle. And then
And
it
they
comes
let them
down to-
battle for like 30 minutes straight or some shit.
And it comes down to who's executing.
Yeah.
It's
Bro.
the same thing.
I love the old format of Battle
Battle of the
'cause it
Year
was just
is the way.
fucking-
To me, I think Battle of the Year is the way.
They should format it like that for sure.
I think
would
so.
say.
I think
I think if they're gonna try and do a one-on-one thing, that needs to be just a sub competition
it
at
is
the Olympics.
It for sure is just a sub
Like a
competition.
red-
It has to
Red
be
Bull.
just like how gymnastics would be like, you're
Individual.
doing the pommel horse, you're
high
doing
bar.
floor, you're doing high bar,
Yeah.
That's how it should be. You're gonna be, going for best power move guy in the Olympics, whatever.
I said this. I told you this, Kurt, a while back. Remember, I was like, hey, they should have a subcategory for breaking, like the best b-boy can do power moves in this category, best footwork in this category, top rock dancing in this category. I mean, it doesn't have to be all the way down to that fine like detail of that, but you can have like power moves or like a trick battle or some shit.
You definitely can have power moves, because I would even compare power moves to the floor exercise. Like
For
Yeah.
where
gymnasts.
what are they judged on?
Yeah.
They're judged on technique, difficulty,
Tricks. Yep.
tricks, things like that, right?
Right.
So if you're out there doing flares, scraping your feet, which I don't know how the hell that became cool all of a sudden, right? What year did that happen,
Bro.
I mean, I know I've been gone a minute, but what year did that happen?
It's weird.
Vicious
'Cause
Vic.
one of the reasons
I don't understand that.
One of the reasons I don't do flares a lot at jams is because once I get past like 3, I start scraping, and I'm like, that's a no-go. But I
Yeah.
see motherfuckers that scrape on their first flare, and I'm like, why are you doing the flares?
I've seen people scrape
What are
on
you
purpose.
doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't
Bro,
make sense
we
to me.
lost battles because
We're
our feet
scraping.
would hit.
You aren't
Yeah.
clean. Yeah.
The mentality
that's-
is weird,
and
dude.
see, so, and that's,
But
see,
it's
this
'cause
is-
it's change,
this
man.
is a
It's
deep
change.
rabbit hole that we can keep going down. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because it comes down to now judging, right?
Right.
So now, what happened with judging? Okay, what was Asia One's company? no easy props, right? When you went to B-Boy Summit, they gave you no love unless you did something crazy, right? You had to be dope, had to be clean. If you were scraping, you were trash. If your air flares were bent, you were trash. If anything, bro, like they wanted every little excuse to tell you were trash, right? They wanted that. Now, everything's okay. Oh, you're biting? Still looks good. Oh, your feet straight.
At least be the best.
It's all good.
One
I
at
see
the
what you were
bite.
trying to do. You know what I kind of feel like it's like? I mean, I don't have kids, but I have nephews and stuff, so I see where this looks like. I think it's like a grandparent syndrome, right? Your parents are tough on you, right? You need to do this. All of a sudden, you have kids. It's okay. Just let them do that. Just let them do that. It's like a grandparent syndrome. All of a sudden, you got soft on them. Why are you getting soft? Why was the standard harder on us and softer on these people? Doesn't make no sense.
Generation shift.
Generational shift, right?
Yep.
It is grandparent syndrome.
Who's gonna start laying down that law?
The next
Sorry,
generation.
that flare doesn't look good.
Right.
Nope, that was a cool combo, but you scraped.
Right.
That was cool, but your foot hit, your leg hit, this hit. Can you imagine all these moves that you see right now and their power moves if they didn't touch the ground? Can you imagine how hard those would look?
Hell yeah.
Oh my God, that would be out of this world.
Because there's some people that I see that they'll just do flares hella quick, but they can't do a full flare 90 like the real old way where your leg doesn't scrape. They'll push just to get to 90.
Yep.
I'm like, bro, that's not a flare 90 at that point. That's a scrape 90.
I gave Morris props one time because when I was practicing with him one night, I forgot where we were at, but we were practicing and he was just pulling clean ass flares out of anything, right?
Yeah.
And to me, that falls in line with that structure that I was talking about, where it's like you have part of the structure where it's like you can literally go in and out of flares anytime you want without scraping your foot. That's dope. You know, people need to learn that type of stuff, not just flares. You got to learn halos. You got to learn air flare. I think there's legitimate moves. Like I think one practice we used to do flare to handstand, and then we would have to go back to flare to handstand without touching our feet.
That's hard.
You know. And we would literally,
90.
we would literally battle each other trying to see who did it. And if you scraped, be like, nope, you scraped. Oh, you can do it, but you got your shoes off. You know what I mean? Like there was things like we would personally challenge each other.
We're very picky.
And I don't know when that shifted, but I think if it came back, B-Boy would be on a whole nother level.
That's crazy.
I'll tell you that because people are already flying overseas.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Little kids,
Can
10-year-olds.
you imagine?
Like those Chinese kids. Oh my God.
5-year-olds
4 years old,
doing hella
flare.
air flares and shit.
And that, like I said, that's
Crazy.
also why I start like levitating or like kind of focusing on like Ziku. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because his power is clean.
Hell yeah.
It's performance power, bro.
Flare,
like
no scrape.
yeah,
He's training a couple kids too that are really dope too.
bro. If he trains them on that same, if they're trained on the same formula, which most likely they are, they're gonna be running this shit.
I mean, those kids are hard, dude.
Really soon.
Yeah.
They're gonna be running shit real soon.
I don't know how
If
old
they're
they
not
are,
already
but I'm
doing
like,
it.
bro, these kids are like, I don't know, they look like they're 16 or some shit. They're just
Yeah,
killing
their,
it.
their whole crew,
Yeah.
the Break Mania. Or
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hard, dude. I see them and I'm like,
And then the logistics is out there training over there with them.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
So
She's pretty dope. She's pretty sick.
Yeah, for
She's
a
young
girl.
too.
Yeah.
Huh?
All of them
she's
are young.
She's
I mean, I don't know how old they are.
She's like
Yeah.
18 or 19, bro.
Oh, is she?
She's
killing
raw.
it.
Yeah, she's raw.
She's got a long.
I mean,
future
but I
ahead of
just saw I don't know who the hell it was, but some girl did a head backflip. So that's kind of
backflip.
letting you know.
Carlito or Carlita or something.
I don't know who she was, but I'll tell you right now, it's like B girls are getting raw.
Oh
From
yeah,
what
man,
I
like
see.
Fresh Bella.
From
That
what I
girl?
see,
Yeah.
That girl's crazy.
I like
La Vix on the
I
Bay.
think-
Oh,
like-
yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
right.
I like
hard, dude.
cassette.
She's dope.
It was nasty.
I'm gonna tell
I
you.
like that
I'm gonna
girl,
tell you right
Stephanie.
now, like
She's dope too.
a B girl, a
Rebel.
B girl that's overseas right now that is killing it, or even the girls now.
Yeah.
Back in like when I was coming up, they would have been in the finals like every single
Yeah.
jam.
Oh yeah.
The B-boys would have had something to worry about.
Period.
hell
Yeah.
yeah.
You
know
would
what I mean?
literally have to bring that.
Yeah.
For real. But I think the Olympics is huge, especially like I said, in like my situation, I stopped going to school because they hated on me so much. You know what I mean? To where it's like, if you're not gonna let me do this here, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna do it there.
Right.
Right? So imagine that situation. You got a kid that doesn't go to
So
school.
Crazy.
Right? Doesn't go to school, doesn't have nothing going for him, doesn't have a job, none of that. You're giving him an opportunity to become an Olympian.
Right.
Let's go, bro. Look at
Yeah.
that resume.
Yeah.
Right?
Hell yeah.
It makes you wish you were like younger right now to fucking actually do that.
I don't know.
Can you imagine that in our deck like 20 years ago?
If maybe if I knew now.
When I was a kid, I never thought breaking would ever do that. I thought it was
oh,
always
you're
going to be
just
some
spitting on the
bullshit
floor.
where
Yeah.
you're just rolling
They
on the
made
floor
fun
and
of
shit.
it, man.
Yeah.
And they still do.
Yeah.
There's still people that are very ignorant about this thing.
I mean, can you blame them?
Yeah.
It's true.
Can you blame them? Look where it came from.
Yeah, it came from the hood.
You know what I mean? Look where it came from. No one respects it at all. And then when they see it, you got people up rocking and dicking each other and stuff like that. It's like
They hardly respect
it's like
themselves.
It's like, bro, like people are gonna be looking at this like it's like,
what is this?
like what are you doing?
Go get a fucking job.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean? And it's
No,
and
this is the
it's fucked
illest
up.
thing, yo.
But the thing is,
I still do
is,
it.
I think it's in that change though. I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
on its way to change.
Yeah, it is.
And I personally, I think breakdancing is going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
For like
Hell
the
yeah.
next like 10, 20 years, I
Yeah.
think it's going to get even better.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna get more like clean for sure. Like not as like hip hop like environment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
they're gonna
gonna
rub the
go
turd
into
off.
its own like
Yeah, but there's
subculture.
there's
for
still
sure.
gonna be events where there's gonna have that. That's why I think with like the Destroy
sure.
the Destroy jam
No-
that I
no
went.
doubt.
Yo, man, that's probably one of the best jams that I felt like I was back in 2005.
Yeah.
That's how it felt because the jam was going on and there was still everyone ciphering. So
Well, you say you still break, right?
yeah, I'm at a point right now, man, where I know there's gonna be a point where I can't even do windmills. And I'm enjoying doing windmills now, and I'm enjoying this dance so much right now. It's crazy. So I hella train.
Really?
Yes,
crazy.
and right now it's like, damn, like I know that, like I'm doing swipes right now, but I know there's gonna be a point where I can't do swipes no more. I'm trying to enjoy every
I don't
move
know,
right
man. I don't know who you were interviewing. What was his name? Ace?
Ace?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, what, 45?
He's older, bro. He is
he's still
hella
getting
dope,
it.
bro.
Look at
Yeah.
Gumby.
Shout out to Ace,
Gumby.
bro.
Yo,
Still getting it, bro.
Gumby.
I just love the whole aspect of like therapeutic, man. It really is. It's like you escape from the world and you just focus on that thing. Battling is cool for me, but it's more about the cipher now. That's what I love.
Like battling or just dancing in the
Or
cypher?
even battling sometimes in the cipher. I enjoy it.
When's the last time you called somebody out?
I want to tell you. So I went to San Diego. And I wasn't even warmed up. I should have never done this. But I went out and I was just warming up. They called me out like that.
Oh wow.
Hell yeah.
And my dumbass, I'm 34 years old, and my dumbass battles the dude. And honestly, I only went like, I think it was 4 rounds. My body was hurting. I didn't even stretch. I didn't even,
34.
and I did all my, I went all out. And those are the things that I need to like.
I think in that situation, you want to control the battle in a way where each round you're kind of warming yourself up to hit some crazy shit, but like, take your time to get there.
Yeah.
You don't need to like run all your crazy shit right now because you're gonna bust yourself.
Yeah, see that was my problem because I thought the old mentality. I want
Yeah.
to
Go for
smoke
it.
this dude.
I know. I mean, in that situation, I probably would be heated and just start throwing stuff. But
Yeah, so I went out crazy.
I'd
and
probably
then
hurt myself.
On my 3rd round, I felt like my shoulder. I was like,
What
"Oh."
about the basing though?
Like, what do you mean?
You said you called someone out in San Diego. What about in the Bay Area?
Honestly,
I don't
man,
know.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. Bay Area doesn't call out no one no more. Like the scene of that, like
The scene is very different
It's
nowadays.
different, bro. Like
yeah,
back
all
then,
about
we used to go to jam
competitions.
and always call out someone and battle. But now it's like
It's all about
everybody's like
competitions.
cool with each other. Like honestly, if I battle, don't even talk to me. Don't even shake my hand. That's how I am.
Next time I battle you, I'm gonna shake your
smoke
hand.
you.
That's fucked up.
That's my mentality.
I'm
But
gonna shake you and hit a freeze like Reveal.
No. But afterwards, I'm like, I'm cool with you. I'm like, it's all about love. But when you're battling me, I'm gonna downgrade you to the level where I want you to go practice. I'm trying to teach you something.
Downgrade you how? Like talking mess or saying you're whack? and
Nah,
stuff?
I don't even talk. But like, he knows when I battle.
Yeah.
That's what I used to call.
he's in the mode for sure.
Yeah, like I still love it, man.
Mean, bro. Like
I
he's
still
serious.
love it. I still love this shit.
Good.
I love this culture.
To
and I
get him,
love
you
the
gotta
hip
just
hop.
make him laugh.
Yeah.
You gotta
you
bring him
can.
out of that mentality. Be like,
Yeah. So when I'm battling, I'm crazy.
just shake his hand,
Yeah.
bro. You're gonna shake.
I don't
his
know.
fucking
I
hand.
have a different mentality.
But that mentality is the OG mentality. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I said, we were raised on like people coming for us, like Charles and all these people. So it's like we had that tough skin. You know, someone telling me I'm whack didn't mean that I was actually whack. I was just like, all right, well, I'm gonna show you I'm not, because watch what I'm bringing. You know what I mean? And I think like with this new scene, and I haven't been to a jam, so I'm sure somebody online is gonna be like, well, you don't go to jams and you don't do this. But listen, I've seen footage. Okay. Fallen
Man,
Kings,
you did a lot for our scene, bro. On the real.
Fallen Kings still enters jams. I see this. I see how they battle. I see how people are coming at them. I see how people are not coming at them. Right? Something needs to change. And like, if each one of us, right, if we could find one, maybe two people and train them in a certain mentality, this whole scene will change like that.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what I think it's the problem? That there's not enough B-boys no more out here. And back then, you used to go to a jam and it was packed. And a lot of people are not even supporting now because they could watch it online.
That's because we ain't have no kids. That's why, huh?
So I don't know. Watch when you go to a jam. It's not
That's
the same,
the problem.
bro. It's not the same. I don't
We
know.
need to produce more.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like our scene out here in the North Cal, man, it's like there's not a lot of B-boys no more. Like back then, we used to go to jam. It was packed.
Yeah.
And now it's like, and that's why you see crews. There's no more crews. It's like they join another crew to.
Because everyone just kind of like just.
Because like in our area, like where I stay at, there's only Tech Boy, which he's a popper, and it's me and Peep and Chewy, and that's it.
Oh wow.
Nobody else that break.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Modesto was thick too. They had a lot of B-boys.
Exactly. So it's like that. Stockton is the same. It's just
Hey, you know what?
IMAX and there's a couple people.
I know this is gonna sound like I'm a hater, but it's kind of your fault. No, but think about it like this.
Kind of true.
It ain't my fault because when I left, y'all were still here. So
Bro,
it ain't my fault.
No, wait.
No, does that make sense?
Don't we throw jams? Don't we try to do it? And
No,
comes support?
but that's what I'm getting to is like we're not in the scene like we used to be, and we're not influencing the new generation to even come in.
That
We're
could
kind of
be
like,
it,
fuck
too.
this shit.
That could be it too.
Nah, I think kids are mad lazy on the real.
No, I agree with that
And
too.
they don't appreciate the dance no more as much as we
Yeah.
appreciate it because we didn't see no other B-boys.
But I think you have a good point too because we had goals of like DSD1. We had goals of beating like Rock Force. We had goals of beating
Soft,
like Renegades,
soft,
and we're going against Iron Monkeys, the Wickets. You know, like all these people, right?
Yeah.
It's like when we dipped out, it was like who was the next one that they were coming for?
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
there's not a DSD1 right now for anyone to look up to. You know what I mean? To know like, hey, we don't need to battle like this crew over here. We can battle like those guys too. You know what I mean? Or they're like they're breaking the mold over here. You know what I mean?
Show them something different.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's what I liked about Freak Show and them too.
Yeah, they're in the
Because-
same realm.
Because they literally did what they did and they were still winning jams.
I mean, yeah, you guys were kind of in the same category of being like this outcast crew that everyone was like, oh, they don't break like us, but why are they beating everybody? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's not a crew like that right now.
And that also ties to like what we talked about is the judges aren't the ones you need to impress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Execute what you need to do. Everyone else will catch on.
Yeah.
Right? Because even earlier, I do a move, someone calls me a biter, they didn't see what I did. Right? They didn't see what I was trying. People are slow, they're gonna catch on later. You know what I mean? As long as you keep staying ahead of that curve and you stay consistent, everyone catches on. At some point, everyone's gonna catch on.
Isn't it? I don't know.
I feel like the scene
you know-
in other countries are going to surpass this.
They already have.
They have, and they
Their
will.
scene has.
And you-
They have, and they will. Why?
Yeah.
It's because their culture is completely different.
Yeah.
Like the American culture is very lazy. You know what I mean? If you just look at their work ethic and like the camps that they have in place for all these kids, like funded by the government.
Exactly. That's
You know
what we
I mean?
need, man.
And we don't have that.
We need support from the government. We need all that, man.
Not even the government. Like you can even build it yourself, but it's just that people need to just do it.
We need somebody
You know
to
what I'm
cash out their Bitcoin and start building up some facilities.
Right
man.
here.
Too many hoarders out here.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yo,
waiting for
get
that
lucid
Shiba
for
to hit.
stocks. Get lucid for stocks. It's
I'm
going
waiting for
up.
that
Nah.
Shiba.
I actually want to throw a jam someday and give a prize of Bitcoin.
I want to give Shiba.
Be fucking tight.
Man,
Yo, anyway, I'm
there's
down for
there's
Shiba.
something that we're gonna do that's gonna be crazy, but I can't talk about
Yeah.
it.
Anyways, yo, we're hitting 3 hours, bro. We're now competing with Joe Rogan podcast with this, marathon.
And you didn't have to pay for
talking.
nothing.
Yeah, and this is all free, baby. So you got any last words? Anything else to say before we should close the show?
All I really want to say is just like people need to be themselves. You know,
Yeah.
Fight that stigma of wanting to be like somebody else. Just break the way you break. You know what I mean? People will catch on. People will want to be you. You will inspire a lot of people. That's all you need to do. Focus on you, do your thing, and have fun. That's what's going to bring this back.
Oh. Where can people find you?
On Instagram, it's Chogaholic, CHAWG_OHLIC. And Golden State CrossFit. You know, I'll be training people over there.
Oh, yeah.
Doing PT. And I've been tossing around the idea of probably a breaking class, but we'll see. That's
Do
a
it,
lot.
man. Do it.
That's a lot of commitment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like,
What if
Might
something's
inspire you.
gonna happen.
Yeah,
Something's
no,
gonna happen.
I know we didn't talk about this, but this guy runs his own gym, so that's what we're talking about. Golden State CrossFit. Anyways, check him out if you guys are in that area, in the Bay Area, California. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Sorry, this show sucks.
Don't get smoked.
Don't
We
be smoked.
out.
peace?